Salutations, my Fallout lovers. It is Matty here with week 43 of the H.A.M Radio Podcast.
And my name's Noah. I recently got a brand new microphone on my ARC. It's a blue snowball.
Ooh.
With a pop filter.
Now whoever wants to
I was waiting for Al to go first, but then I realized it was Al.
Here.
So
You beat me here first, George. So
I'm George from ZeroPeriod Productions, and it's nice to be back again.
Yes.
and I'm Al from AlChestBreach, and yes, it's good to be back as well.
To have you both
He's
back.
from AlChestBreach.
Yeah, I'm from the planet
Spawned.
AlChestBreach.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how big his ego is now. He's a planet.
Exactly. It's uncontrollable.
I was thinking, no, when there was like that brief silence after you said you had the new mic, I thought of what you were doing earlier. What was the P word you said when we were testing it?
God damn, pie. I think I said pie.
Okay, here we go. Pie.
I was like, yeah, I was testing I was testing the pop filter. I was like, pie, poppy seeds. Like, that's what I was doing. Anyways.
Anyway, timestamps are down below if you want to hop around wherever in the podcast. And as always, we like to bring in new people every week. And to get you involved in that, just answer the following question on Twitter with the hashtag #HamRadioTime. What games are you most excited for in 2016? Now, this week of the H.A.M Radio Podcast is going to be quite different from any other one we've ever done, because we're not going to be talking about Bethesda at all this week, because
we don't have Lone on here either.
Yeah, fuck Lone. We don't we don't have any news whatsoever to talk about. There's no speculations. There's jack shit to talk about when it comes to Bethesda. They're on vacation. They're on radio silence.
Fuck Bethesda.
I'm sure next time we hear from them, it'll be something about the creation kit, or
Todd will send you a little like handwritten letter. Dear Matt, I have missed you.
Sorry about the bathroom.
It'll smell like his perfume. You know, like.
Speaking of Todd, I had a dream that people wanted me to tell the story
Oh,
about.
no.
That sounds,
Yes.
that
Oh,
started
God.
off wrong.
So what was what after the dream?
I had a dream that Todd Howard beat the shit out of me in my high school bathroom. He fucking kicked my ass.
The thing is, I remember the high school bathrooms.
Right.
This also spawns something Matt used to do all the time in high school. I think I've said this before on the cast, but Matt used to text me all the time in school. Dude, I just took the biggest shit. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for the heads up. Every single day, I would get one, and it was just like, all right, thank you, Matt.
Did he ever send pictures?
No,
Or
I'm not-
No, we did have a friend. We did have a friend who did that once, and it was disgusting. It was terrifying.
Yeah, but so this weird story. It's a brief dream, but for some reason Todd Howard was at my school to present. I think he was gonna present a new game or something like that, and I'm in the bathroom like taking a piss, and I turn around, and like Todd's just walking in. I'm like, oh shit, it's Todd Howard.
Todd freaking Howard.
He pushes me. I'm like, what the? I'm like, what the fuck did you push me for? And it was like a really quick fight, because I really didn't even get to square up. I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to fight Todd. And
It's so.
he just decks me, and I hit my head against the sink, and he drags me out of the bathroom, and the dream ended.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was
By
pretty fucked up too.
You know, when the creation kit comes out, I want someone to make a mod where you go into the dream theater, and that's one of the memories, the memory den, and you relive that.
That would be amazing. And you just see, like, that'd be amazing.
You try to speech check him out of it, like, we don't need to fight about this. Come on.
But it's one of the red speech options.
Yes.
Jesus.
Sorry, pal, I'm gonna take you
Dances in the background, and he's like, sensational. What does he fucking say? I
He
always
says
forget.
outstanding. The only reason I know
Outstanding.
is
That's what it is.
Yes.
fucking alone.
Outstanding.
Outstanding. So let's dive into this little game and discussion here. Let's start off with this. What game is okay? Who wants to go first? What game is someone most excited for?
I want to go first because I have to leave soon.
Okay.
Damn it.
Okay, you go.
Fuck you all.
Go first.
What's it called? I saw a little bit of gameplay of some of the more updated Star Citizen recently. I don't know if that's coming out in 2016. We'll see. But it looked kind of neat. Also, The Division looks kind of cool.
Division, even
Which is a surprising one for me.
I was gonna say for
Because
you, like
Ubisoft and I don't have
Yeah.
the best history. And this game was actually delayed, as a lot of you know, and pushed back into 2016. It'll probably be delayed again.
Delay.
So expect it in like 2019. We'll see, but yeah, the Star Citizen looks pretty sweet.
What is Star Citizen?
Interested. It's the crowdfunded game that was like one of the first games on Kickstarter to get like $1 million, right? It was like something like that.
Yeah,
but it's like a huge
remarkable amount of money.
Really?
Yeah.
It's in the millions now.
Yeah, and it's a really big like sci-fi game. You know, it's like open world. You command a bunch of different stuff. I'm summarizing it very much so, but
it's from the guys who made what was it, Wing Commander?
Oh, is it?
That sounds about right.
I think so.
I didn't know that. That's
Sounds
awesome.
like a strategy game.
There's space fighting and there's also first person shooting as well. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I saw a little bit of was the first person. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't shooting. It wasn't PvP shooting, but it was like walking around the ship, and he flew out of his own ship and went into like hyperdrive in like this little outside space thing. It was neat. It reminds me of Mass Effect a lot. Like a first-person Mass Effect, but I'm interested.
I've never. I gotta look into this game. Tell you the truth, just by the sound of the title, I don't know if I sound like an idiot saying it, but it literally sounds like a strategy game.
Oh yeah, well,
it's meant to be more of like a first-person action game.
Holy shit.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, the only people playing it right now are people who have put in like hundreds or thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Because right now the only way to get ships is to pledge more and more money.
Yeah. I'm afraid it's going to be one of those games that never comes out. It's like, it's just always something new is coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's never an official release for it.
As it is, it's like a year behind
wrong.
schedule or something, I think, because they wanted to release the dogfighting earlier this year. Because I know that, Al, when you and I went to PAX East in 2014, they were showing off the dogfighting then. And then this year at PAX East, they were still showing it off. They're like, we haven't done anything yet.
More dogfighting.
Yeah.
We'll see though. It's interesting. I think a portion of it, hopefully the dogfighting comes out in 2016. Again, like I said before, it's one of those games that I don't think is going to come out all in one. It's going to be like pieces, like a puzzle, you know. But
modern digital gaming.
Huh? Yeah. Well, you have a really good point there.
So the Division, I'm a little shocked that you have that on your list because I'm excited for it, but I'm a little surprised that you still, you're less tolerant than me. Is what I'm saying.
Well, of Ubisofts, yeah. I'm interested, but I think it's gonna be cool. I think it for some reason reminds me a lot of The Last of Us. Just the way it looks. I know it's not very story driven, or from what I've seen, it isn't.
Doesn't seem to be.
But it just gives me that vibe. I still always think back to when they initially showed it, and you had the supposed like live comms in the game, and they were like, "Oh, good shot, Greg," and it was like, and it was it was so cheesy, and it was
they always
like,
do that too. I don't know if they do it intentionally to fuck with people or if they like think it sounds cool.
I think it's pre-recorded and they talk over it after. I think I could be wrong on that, but because if not, who are these people?
When it happens during the demo, it usually sounds pretty cool. But like,
and then you look back and you're like,
because I remember this one trailer where this guy like betrayed some girl. She's like, what are you doing? Like she's like bugging out, like,
Tom, what are you doing?
She like kills her and like slowly walks away all dramatically. I'm like, stop. That's the only time I'm like, hold up. That was a little weird.
I don't know, but it looks. I'm interested. I'm curious to see what more comes out of it.
In terms of what you want to buy, though, would you buy the Division? Just by looking
probably
at it?
Not. We'll see. That's one thing I haven't bought again. The last it's been a while since I felt really driven to buy a game other than Fallout 4. Just because I am a little bit busier and stuff like that. So
I do understand.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Next? Who wants to talk about a game that they're pretty amped for? That really
George.
Oh wow! All right. You see, we're very polite to each other.
I can see
gonna
that.
be like, you go first.
You're the polar opposite of Matt and I.
Just talk over each other.
Go fuck yourself, Matt.
Well, all right. Well, I will say this: me and George were excited for Far Cry Primal.
Oh, jeez.
To do co-op.
Yeah. And then you saw it.
There's no co-op.
I think you saw it.
Yeah.
Then we saw it and we're like, what the fuck? But yeah, they took the co-op. Or was there ever co-op in it? Do you know, George?
They just never said. Like, we assumed there would be co-op.
Yeah,
it's a $60 game.
Yeah.
And it's Far Cry. They've had it.
It doesn't look like it, though. It does not look like a $60. Like, it looks fun, but I don't know. It looks, quite honestly, boring.
It looks like they're trying to pull another Blood Dragon type thing where it's not a full game, but it's kind of like a spin-off thing. But they were like, well,
This one's full
you know
price.
how people loved that
Yeah.
Blood Dragon was $15? Maybe they'll love if we make it $60.
Maybe they'll love
And-
spending more.
I will
money.
say, Blood Dragon though, in Ubisoft's defense, Blood Dragon was one of my favorite expansions that has
Oh,
ever
it was
gone.
fantastic, yeah.
It was the right price. It had the right amount of content, and it was funny,
Yeah.
and it was fun to play. So that was like, good job Ubisoft. And then they do this.
You know what's
So-
not funny? Cavemen in a serious action game.
I
where
just
they don't say
get
anything
the,
and they have subtitles for them.
like,
Yeah.
what's
You
this
know.
owl thing where you fly around and like carpet bomb with owls and shit? Like,
Wait,
how is that possible?
Carpet bomb with owls.
I swear.
There's shit everywhere.
It's like this like feature where the owls.
I
Like,
think
carpet bomb.
what that is because I saw that. I don't think it's a carpet bomb. I could be wrong on this. I haven't played it, but I think it's a spotting system. Remember in Far Cry, you always had
Yes.
the binoculars.
Yeah.
I think that's what this is.
I thought they said like they could drop bombs or something like that.
It's
It's like
maybe
they
could.
picked the wrong time period because they have to be like authentic to the time period, but they would have to leave out so much that makes Far Cry fun.
Yeah, like all the
Then
vehicles,
call in a Harrier.
guns.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at the
use a bow
owl.
and arrow.
It says
You can still use a bow and arrow.
exactly. You can throw a spear and probably miss. You know.
okay. So with the owl, you can send a beast. So like I guess you look at an enemy and then you're like you call on your wolf friends or something, and then a wolf
friends.
fucking attacks. Yeah.
See this game?
I'm
It
really
makes
glad
total
owls
sense.
can't do that in real
It
life.
feels like the mechanics aren't thought out properly. Like the way you tame beasts is so stupid. Like I'm pretty sure it was either one or two things. I think you like because I watched the Black Hokage describe it. I think you literally just go up and like hold X or something, and they're your friend now.
Yeah.
Or you feed, or I
Yeah.
think you feed them.
That's
Well,
why
I
have
watched-
such
That's what it was
cats.
because I remember talking about this last week, and they were like, "Yeah, you literally give them like a steak, and they're like your friend now." They're like,
Well, I
I
watched-
fucking love steak.
I watched the Gaming Lemon, and I have to shout him out because he did some of the funtages he does with Far Cry are fucking hilarious. But I watched the Gaming Lemon's like funtage he did with the Far Cry Primal, and he had like a bear following him around, and like he would like walk up and pet it, and he like fed it, and it was totally friendly. And I was like, yeah, that would happen.
Yeah,
you know, it
definitely,
was
Rich.
like, you know, it just seems like an odd game. Like it's just kind of it's something I'd expect like an indie developer to
Yeah.
make.
Yeah.
Not Ubisoft.
I mean, it has been made by indie developers like 1,000 times now, but usually it's
Exactly.
multiplayer.
Look at fucking Ark. You know,
Ark.
granted that has dinosaurs, but it's the same kind of concept.
Yeah.
You know,
Rust, stuff like that.
What's
Yeah.
the other one?
like I'm tired of the ancient survival
Is
games.
Ark good?
okay?
Like the idea of
I
have it, but I've yet to play it.
dinosaurs sounds cool.
I'm sure it's fun with
They're
friends.
adding a new feature, and I don't know if I was getting trolled. I read this. I did not look into it though. But is it true they're adding like kangaroos or something like that?
I cannot
don't
confirm or deny that.
I hear
No.
someone checking it out. Please let me know. 'cause
yeah.
It's Al.
Al's on it. Yeah.
Ark Survival evolved rings in 2016 with giant rideable kangaroos.
I can't believe it.
God damn it.
I guess Lone sent enough fan letters to
Yeah.
them.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, Lone's
shit.
inspired some people. Jesus.
That's awesome.
We know who the
Yeah.
devs are watching now.
There's
Yeah,
a
right.
video to it.
Let me give this a look.
I have to see
Hold on.
this.
It's fucking hilarious.
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
They look so. They can
That's
jump
huge.
so high. Yeah.
I can see that being the buggiest thing in the world.
Oh
but being
yeah.
hilarious at the same time. Wait, they have guns in Ark? I thought I
Shooting
saw.
out of the pouch. Yeah.
I think so. I think there's like some sci-fi elements to Ark, from what I
Yeah,
remember.
well, you can see that in the HUD almost. You know.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. I might pick it up before the
That's-
sale ends.
I have a
Yeah.
friend at work who plays it. I'm not.
It's just like I don't know if it's too early access still. You know,
It's
That's
funny
what I'm
because I've
thinking.
heard that it's more stable on the Xbox One version, even though that's also early access
I
because
could see that though.
they were able to lock down like the actual specifications.
Well, and with the Xbox One, you know, you have, on PC, you have people using a myriad of different setups.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
like, you know, I feel like it would be. But I have a friend at work who I can't. He's not really a friend. He's a person I work with, and I want to hit him in the throat every time I work with him. But because he always asks me, he always talks about Destiny and asks me if I have it, and always I'm like, no, I don't have a fucking Xbox One or PS4. But
probably
anyways,
wouldn't own
he's
that game if you did.
yeah. Lately, his kind of climb has been telling me about Ark, and it's like, yeah, I know about it. Shut up. But yeah.
I mean I don't know. I don't like buying early access games because I always get that like incomplete.
Shafted.
Yeah, I get that incomplete,
Yeah.
shafted feeling. Like I just got worked over.
Daisy.
Yep.
Man, I played I have like 22 hours of Daisy, all of which was logged in the first like 3 days it was out, and haven't touched it since.
Yeah, I mean, they recently took out all the zombies because they were causing too much trouble. And I was like, oh, so
it's
the
not
one feature that was somewhat
yeah.
working in the game is now gone.
Well, but it's like
That's good.
I don't know. For me, Daisy's a stressful game. You know what I mean?
No.
Like
God,
I'm playing it, I'm like sweating. I'm like,
Yeah.
Jesus, and I'm like
Playing it and you're not having fun. You're just angry at everything.
exactly 40 minutes in, and I'm like, all right, that's enough for the week.
Yeah, you see a person and you're like, oh, do I go over there? Or...
Like, are you friendly?
Like extreme social anxiety, the game.
yeah, exactly. Social anxiety simulator. Yeah.
So you guys were excited for Primal, but then found out it looks like dog shit. So what has sparked the
It
curiosity?
just looks mediocre.
Yeah, it's just like an in-between.
It just doesn't seem like it needs to be a Far Cry game.
agree.
Like, I don't understand why it had to be part of the Far Cry
I've
franchise.
said this like 3 times in a row, or 3 episodes in a row, but I hate the stick animation. The way he's stabbing with that spear, that does not look effective at all. That does not look effective.
What about Overwatch? Have any of you guys played Overwatch?
I almost did it at PAX East this year.
I
Or
meant
last year, rather.
to play the beta, but I think that was when Fallout 4 came out, so...
I know wasn't it originally supposed to be free to play, and then now it's you have to buy it.
$60. Yeah, I don't get what's going on
Yeah.
with that game. Wasn't it something else beforehand?
I can't confirm that.
I think it's
don't
changed like a few times now, but yeah, it was supposed to be free to play, but now it's going to be $60. But the thing is, and I've heard from several people who have played it, that they would easily pay that and more just from like the bit of the beta that they've played. So
I'm
already tempted to get it.
I've heard really good things. I watched Achievement Hunter do some stuff with it.
Oh yeah.
And it looked like a lot of fun. It does look like a game that A, you have to play with friends, and B, it's you get a Team Fortress vibe from it. I know.
Yeah.
That's what I've
not
heard.
having
I've heard it's like
played
the
it,
next
I
Team
don't
Fortress,
know.
essentially.
Yeah, not having played it, I don't know, but it looks fun. I like the art style. I like the characters, but it is a game I would say play with friends, from what I've seen at least.
Damn it.
But yeah, gotta get friends.
I'm not playing with you, George.
No, that's the thing. You're the only friend I really ever play games with. So it's
God.
I mean, when I think of Overwatch, I think of PAX East 2015 and how like the line at the Overwatch booth was never less than a couple of hours. Like you would, if you got online, you were going to be there for a while. Like it was never short.
I remember it.
Well,
We could see the line from the Maker booth. I remember.
Yeah,
Jesus.
It was insane. And just
One of the cool things about Overwatch is that it is the first person attempt from Blizzard. And Blizzard,
Keep forgetting
for
it's
those
by
of you
them.
who may not know. Yeah, for those of you who may not know, Blizzard is the company that does World of Warcraft. So it's neat to see them do this and be so successful at it.
Yeah.
Now they may have hired a separate team or whatnot, and just meshed them into themselves, if that makes any sense. But it still looks interesting, and I'm kind of happy to see Blizzard branching out into other stuff. Now I know they've done other stuff too, but it's fun to see. I'm glad to see it. New IPs are always good. Damn it.
They've been launching a couple different IPs lately. I mean, I guess Heroes of the Storm might not necessarily count because it just uses characters from their other games. But like, I was surprised that we got Heroes of the Storm 2015, and now 2016 we're getting another game. Like, that's really surprising from Blizzard, and it's good. But I'm not used to them releasing so much stuff in like close proximity.
They're damn good though at making games that you play for the long run.
Oh yeah.
World of Warcraft, which I haven't even touched. I'm not gonna, but
People played it for like
Hearthstone,
a decade straight, so
yeah.
it's got to be doing something right.
Yeah, Hearthstone has been really good, especially on the Twitch crowd. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's an easy game to run. It's not an intensive game by any means.
What's going to take it out is 2016's biggest sleeper of Elder Scrolls Legends.
Okay, easy there, bud. But
The one Elder Scrolls game I couldn't care less about.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What? Explain that to me, because I don't know a lot about that.
Hearthstone, but Elder Scrolls characters and stuff. It's an interesting idea. It kind of fits, but it's like no one. It's like first ESO, now Elder Scrolls Legends. It's
interesting to see card games making a return.
It's funny though, because I remember watching the Bethesda like press conference at E3. I was like, oh man, look at all these things I don't care about. Look at this thing I really don't care about.
Yeah.
Like, I like Elder Scrolls Online I don't think it's a great.
It's not bad.
I think I
like it.
I don't think it's a bad Elder Scrolls game. It's just not what people wanted. I like it as a game.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's just fun to like pick up and play. But
Can't play it by
I'm
yourself,
not
though.
looking to get back into card games at all.
Well, card games are cool. They're a little silly to me on the computer. That's my only thing. It's kind of like the idea of that is a little silly, but it's a separate class. I feel like card games are for an old school or crowd. You know what I mean? If I don't know how to say that because I play Hearthstone too, and I didn't really play that many card games when I was younger.
See, I think the fun of collecting cards is having them in your hand physically, not like, all right, scored a pack, you know.
Yeah, I used to play the shit out of Magic. I still have like.
I used to play Magic a lot too. It's been a long time, but I used to, when I was like 10, 11, I used to play a lot of Magic. That's why I enjoy Hearthstone, because it kind of gives me that like little whiff without having to get super into it.
Yeah.
But because I just, like I said, I don't have the time to get into Magic again. I would love to.
For the money, it's so expensive
nowadays.
Nowadays.
Yeah. There's a card game down from my house and card store down from my house, and like I went in there once and the guy talked my ear off for like an hour and a half about like, well, we have like amateur leagues nights that you could come in and do that. I'm like, I don't have no. Like
my cards aren't regulation anymore.
Yeah. I don't have the time or the money. Yeah.
I'm just here for gum.
Exactly. But guys, I have to head off because I got to go to work. So
stuck with
it was fun being on a little bit. Yeah, you're stuck with Matty. So peace out,
stuck
guys.
With us is what you
Peace
mean.
out.
Try to enjoy it.
Good talking.
Yeah. So, as I said, I fucked up the time with him so badly.
I was a little confused because I got a text from you around like 1 o'clock.
Because he was like, "Oh, dude, you know, what did he say to me? He was telling me how he has work at like, I think, yeah, like right now." And I'm like, "That's when you wanted to start the podcast?" Because he kept telling me like 12 his time. So I'm thinking, okay, he's on the West Coast 3 hours beforehand, but I guess he's 2 hours. Did not account for that. I was like, what? Okay. And so, yeah, that's why I was like, I didn't want to rush you guys, though. I was like, all right, if you guys want to get on early, just let me know.
Yeah.
But it's not.
The problem is we both sleep very late.
Oh, same.
So when I messaged you, that was me
today.
waking up.
I was up at 8 a.m.
And then
today.
I was going out.
Oh, damn.
8 a.m.
Wow.
I'm productive today. Not really.
Did you have a good breakfast?
I had cereal and then went to Starbucks.
I like
Ooh.
it. I like it.
Yeah. Good.
I think the last time I woke up early was for the 24-hour stream. And after that, I was like, fuck
I'm
this.
sleeping.
Never again.
God.
I remember seeing the highlight was like something with dumplings or...
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, just me eating fucking dumplings.
You had never tried dumplings before.
I get disappointed when I open the box. I'm like, yeah.
That's what...
God, it's the best.
That shit was so funny.
Oh, God.
So we like
was good.
Overwatch.
I don't know if either of you played the first Homefront. Do any of you remember that game?
I played it very briefly because I got like I played the single player component, not the multiplayer, because I downloaded like the demo back on Xbox 360 back in the day.
I forgot why it got so much like flack, but it did. I think it was because back then I was only like into multiplayer, and so
I remember why it got flack. It was a marketing thing.
Really?
Because I think it was either an in-game issue that people had, or it was a real-life marketing thing they had done. Because I think in the game at one point you had to put a baby in a dumpster to protect it, and people were pissed about that.
Shit.
That's hilarious. Well,
I think it's funny. I think people were pissed about that, and I think people are also pissed about like a marketing thing involving a lot of balloons or something.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
In the game, they do, in like the beginning of the game, they like, there's like a kid and there's the parents, and they just fucking shoot the parents in front of the little kid.
Holy shit.
Like, there's a bunch of like, and like, there's one scene where you have to like hide from the enemy, and you hide in like a mass grave, and you go underneath bodies. Like, there's a lot of like
fucked up. Holy.
fucked up shit in the game, and so I can see why people would. But besides that, I mean, the gameplay is just kind of linear. Nothing really special about it. And the story is like North Korea unites with South Korea and then conquers the Earth,
Right.
basically.
Which is very plausible.
Yeah, it's
given
very plausible.
North Korea and South Korea's history of shooting at each other once a year.
So then, Homefront, the Revolution it kind of feels like, I don't know, I'm looking at the comments and it's like, looks like a Far Cry, which, so basically it's just like an open world. I guess you do missions and free bases and stuff. There's vehicle play. So, I mean, there's that. Division, as well.
See, I don't know if Homefront is up my alley. I don't know, because like I said, if it's like just a standard linear thing, like, is it a good story?
I like the story. It's not groundbreaking. I mean, the Revolution one's basically they're Koreans that own America. We got to fight back, and that's probably the whole story. Like, it's not going to be any deeper than that. I'm sure.
It's just funny as I figured that from the title.
It's not going to be anything deep. But I don't know. I like Far Cry. I love the Far Cry series. It's just fun gameplay, and I don't know if they will have co-op for Homefront, but if they do, that would be awesome. Plus, as well.
It's one of those games that I'm just gonna wait until it comes out, see what people say, and maybe then. But I think the problem is that 2015 was such an amazing year for games, and we haven't had a year like 2015 in a long time. And now it's just a matter of everyone's just like, I don't know what we're doing.
Here's the surprise hitter: American Truck Simulator.
I am looking forward to that, not gonna lie.
I know you are.
I am, just because I want to... It's very, like, relaxing, and I can just drive across America and be like, oh, look, that's that.
I know a lot of people actually do enjoy those games, though. The truck simulators where you can literally just, like, put on music and zone out and just, like, drive for immense length.
It's a great podcast game.
Really?
Like, just having a podcast on one screen and then Truck Simulator on another. I'm just like, all right, this is nice. It's, like, a nice way to just relax in an afternoon.
That would be a good 24-hour stream, like drive across America.
Ooh. Raise money for the trucker kids.
For the trucker kids. Perfect. Yeah. There's a bunch of sequels. I don't know. What about you, Matty?
For me, like, two of the games I'm looking forward to most are, like, Japanese games. So I'll probably stay away from those because I don't think I can generate any form of discussion out of those. I don't know if you guys ever played Persona.
I've heard of it. That's about...
I know a lot about it from my friend Dan, who loves it to death.
See, I love it to death as well. And, like, I can't wait for 5 this year. Especially because it's supposed to come out during, like, the summer, like, when I'm not in school. That has me very excited. But as for games that we can talk about, there's a PS4 exclusive. I always mess the name up. It's Horizon Zero Dawn, I want to say.
I think that's correct.
Was it Event Zero? I'm trying to...
Oh, that's the one where all the animals are... Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah.
Okay, I was right. All right, yeah. That looks really cool to me. Like,
yes,
that, like,
does
bow and arrow. And I know they already... The developer came out and said it, but, like, these, like, robot... It said that they're not this, but, like, these robot dinosaur-looking things. Like, it's just so appealing to me, because that's, like, something... Like, I know, like, Noah was just saying how, like, you know, new IPs are good, but sometimes they seem like just reiterations of other ideas. Like, this seems original in every sense. The name is new. The game is new. Like, the world is different. And, like, robot dinosaurs, like, what, like it's so cool. But yet you're using different types of bow and arrow. I think it's really awesome looking.
Yeah. It's games like this that make me want to get a PS4, but it's also a matter of just, like, oh, that's another $400 I have to drop on something that I'm not going to play as much because I already have a PC and an Xbox One.
No, I don't blame you. Yeah, I mean, PS4, in my opinion, lacks in exclusives because they really only have, like, a couple of good ones, and I can't even think of a couple now that I really think about it. I can only think
I do want to get
Bloodborne.
Uncharted 4. Like, I would want to get a PS4 for Uncharted.
Yeah, that's going to be good, obviously, because they keep delaying it to make sure it's good, so...
Yeah.
It got delayed again.
Yeah.
April. I mean, I'm excited for that. See, I bought the Uncharted collection prematurely because I knew I was going to have to play it before I played 4 because I've played 1. See, I'm a hipster. 1's my favorite. Everyone's like 2 is the best because it was so revolutionary, or 3 is the best.
That's what I always hear, yeah.
It was such a good story. And then, like, I'm sitting there thinking, I really like 1, guys. Uncharted 1 was pretty cool because it was so... you know what's funny is I played it for the first time, like, years and years after it came out, so it wasn't like it was anything I hadn't seen before. It was just really fun, and I liked the, like, twist at the end with the Nazis and the MP40s and shit. It was really cool.
Yeah, I've never played any of the Uncharted just because I haven't had a PlayStation 4. I haven't had a console in years, so, like...
I mean, it's not... I mean, for me, I don't think it's, like everyone else says, like, the best thing since sliced bread. Like, it's good, but it's not... to me, I know I'm, like, in the minority when I say this, but to me, it's not anything that, like, you need to rush out and buy a system for, personally. Even though George just said he'd go out and buy a system for Uncharted 4.
Not just for Uncharted, but it's one of the games that would make me want to get a PS4.
Yeah.
It's like stuff like Uncharted or Last of Us and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
But then once again, that's like 4 or 5 games. It's like,
Yeah.
and I have to buy those in addition to the console.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
No, I understand.
you know.
Microsoft has some good-looking exclusives this year, though. There is a whole list of them. They should have like 3 for each quarter, apparently, or something like that.
Wow.
They're gonna have like a really big year, it seems.
It's funny because, Rise of the Tomb Raider was a Xbox exclusive for, the end of 2015. And now that it's coming to
PC, I think.
PC
Yeah.
and then eventually PS4, I'm like really happy that other people are going to be able to play it because I really enjoyed the game.
I have not played. I have it, but I have because I got it for Christmas. But I've been playing other games, but because I'm kind of saving it because I've heard it's like this game of the year kind of type of game. So I've kind of been saving that to like really sit down and enjoy.
Yeah, it was definitely up there for me. It was definitely one of the better games I played this year, and I was really happy that I was able to get a copy.
I don't know if I'm alone on this. I can't stand the voice actor for Lara Croft. She
It is very British.
No, not that. She screams and yells over anything that happens. She could fucking trip and she'd be oh my god, I can't. It ruined the first Tomb Raider for me.
I'm just thinking of when you say scream, I'm just thinking of all the death scenes.
Oh god,
So
getting
brutal.
impaled by anything and everything.
I remember
It's
I
brutal.
remember the first time it ever happened to me because I didn't know how bad they were. That I was like sliding down a river and I got a fucking wood like stick through my
Yeah.
throat.
I know that one. And then like if you keep failing, you keep getting it over and over. You're like, I'm sorry.
It's like I feel
Yeah, 'cause
bad.
they let her
I'm
like
really
it's not like
bad about this.
it's not like she just gets stabbed in the screen like blanks out. She's like
Yeah.
like
she wriggles.
yeah. It's like oh
Yeah.
nasty. Jeez.
Like, where's the I don't want to see this anymore button? Because there's so many not so many games, but you get like the occasional game where it's like, warning, this depicts like really weird, gross stuff. Do you want to skip some of that? Like, there's never any option where it's like, if you die this many times in Tomb Raider, do you want to just not see yourself get impaled? I mean, like, yes, I'm okay with this. Just automatically reload my save and be like, nah, you died. You don't need to see that.
Speaking of like if you fail too many times, it kind of annoyed me, but I guess it's some people like it. But in the latest Metal Gear Solid, like if you failed too many times, they'd be like, "Do you want us to make it easier for
Oh,
you?"
the little chicken thing on your head. And
Yes,
stuff.
and I'd always be like, "Fuck you! No, I'm gonna do it myself."
I couldn't get into that game. I got like 30% complete, I'd say, or something. I got like a decent amount in to like get a taste of the game, and the gameplay is amazing. But like I was just because I was one of the few people who really enjoyed like the story for like 2 and 4, where like that's what got me into Metal Gear, not its gameplay, and so I couldn't play Metal Gear 5 just for the gameplay.
I never knew what the hell was going on. So like the beginning of the game, I was like, "What is going on? This is the weirdest fucking thing ever."
And Snake
But-
like never talks.
Yeah, I was just like, "All right, this is happening now," and okay.
I don't know. Yeah. What other games come out in 2016? I'm trying to think. I'm about to.
There's quite a
Doom?
I'm
few.
about to look up the. Oh yes, Doom and Dishonored.
That's very true.
Doom and Dishonored.
Yes,
oh, my
yes.
God.
Yes.
2016 upcoming games. We'll just.
Oh, I'm looking forward to. I mean, we haven't seen any gameplay for it, and I'm kind of expecting it to be delayed. But I'm looking forward to the new Mass Effect Andromeda.
Is that supposed to come out next year?
It's supposed to come out holiday 2016. Like at
What?
E3, they said, "Oh yeah, we're making it," but they only showed like a cinematic trailer, and that was it.
Mass Effect, they always release first on consoles, right? Then they take like a while to go.
No, that was only the first game.
Yeah. The
Okay.
first one
Here's
was-
how it worked
first one
out
was
because the
split
first
up so
one
much.
was published by Microsoft because they weren't with EA yet, so it was just Xbox, and then it came to PC, and then it came to PS4 after Mass Effect 2 did, because Mass Effect 2 was also delayed on PlayStation
All right.
Yeah.
because it came out on PC and Xbox 360 at the same time for Mass Effect 2, and then I think several months later it came out on PlayStation 3. But then Mass Effect 3 they released all at the same time.
Yeah.
And then so Andromeda takes place. You said hundreds of years in the future, right?
They haven't said how much into the future, but they said it takes place in the future, like from the end of Mass Effect 3, and it takes place in another galaxy, which, I mean, I don't know anything about the game yet, but to me that seems almost just like a kind of a cop-out, because there's each galaxy is so big. There's still so much they can do in this one. So going to another one just seems a little odd.
I don't know. Hopefully, if they, I mean, obviously with the new galaxy, they do introduce, I guess, new species or something. Hopefully, it's not just like the leftovers of the Reavers or something.
Yeah.
I feel like they have to, because, or at least I'd imagine they know, because you think of it this way, like they should know by now why Mass Effect was so popular, and that like if they really want to be done with Shepard's story, they have to put like almost all of that in the past. You know, if they're doing a new galaxy, it would make sense to have like all these different things.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think.
Once again, like we really don't know anything about it, even though it's supposed to release this year. So
which is kind of cool. I don't know.
It is, but at the same time, the fact that there's no gameplay, like just to see what it's like, that's already just like, oh well, is it going to be ready, or are they just trying to keep everything locked down to surprise us later? Because it can go either way right now.
Push it forward, because like 1 was really clunky, then 2 kind of pushed it forward and made it more modernized, and 3 like it had like all the cover, like the commands, and then like the melee addition to it, and then the powers were really good, especially like the addition of Vanguard.
I loved the gameplay of 3.
3 was so dude, most underrated multiplayer ever was in Mass Effect 3.
I think so. I definitely think so. And here's the thing: people complain like, "Oh, there's microtransactions." Yes, but because of those microtransactions, all of the DLC for multiplayer was free. So I'm completely fine when developers do stuff like that. Like, if I don't need to pay for more maps or anything, but it's just like, oh, maybe I want to pay to possibly get a new item or something. It's like, that's fine by me.
That's the thing. The funny part is that's one of the games that I didn't need to spend my money on, because I played the multiplayer so much. I earned all the chests that you could get, or wherever they were, that unlock new weapons and armor and stuff. So I was like, I played that an unhealthy amount.
Yeah, they said that Andromeda will have the multiplayer component, and it sounds like it might even tie in to the campaign a bit.
They said that with Mass Effect 3 though, but it was such a little thing, really. It was like they made it. I mean, the idea was cool. It was like this separate battle, and like you can build up, and it'll affect the ending of the game. And so like I made sure before I did the ending for Mass Effect 3 that I like put all this time in the multiplayer to like fully build up this army or whatever the hell it does. I forgot. And it didn't really make like any huge difference.
Yeah.
It was essentially like, I think every time you got a character to like level 20 or something, you could get, another like minor war asset or something that added like 20 points or something to your total score.
That's what it was. I think it was war assets or something like that, and you could hit like a certain amount.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, you got different endings depending on what your score was.
All right, so I'm looking at this list right now. There's actually a lot I forgot about. Do you guys remember Sea of Thieves? It was like this game that was announced at E3 last year.
Oh.
And E3 2015, and it was like it's by Rare, and like they're finally doing like single player games again. And this is like their first
I did
one.
see
and
this.
and like the way they like described it was like this action co-op. I think it's an RPG, and it's about like being pirates and like having your own ship and stuff with your friends and like attacking other people. Like I forgot what it was, but it sounded like really different from what other games are.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It definitely has the RPG element.
Mm-hmm. I really like the sort of cartoony style to it too.
Yeah.
See, what sucks is that as I'm recording, I can't look up videos of all this stuff, so I throw by on you guys to confirm what I'm saying, because I have the shadow play on, so it's just gonna pick up any like trailer audio I play.
Yeah, gotcha. No, there's a ship, and then basically you've got like all your friends doing different things. So
okay.
I wonder if you can like.
I think this is going to be part of Microsoft's next big push to sort of integrate, Windows 10 with Xbox One, so that people can play cross-platform.
Oh yes. See, I always wanted
which I'm looking forward to. I don't have Windows 10 on my main PC.
I do.
I might upgrade. I'm not sure yet, but stuff like this that'll be awesome. Once again, Al, you don't have Windows 10, but if you had Windows 10, I could like get a game on my Xbox. You could get it on Windows, and we could like play together. That'd be awesome. It's something that I think everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah,
since it's a Microsoft console, and the fact that we're finally at the stage where we're going to get that is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, Ratchet and Clank. Did you guys know there's a new Ratchet and Clank coming out?
Yes, I did. I saw that. Yes. I remember seeing that at E3.
I think the thing is, when like the first Ratchet and Clank came out, I didn't have. Or I just never got it. No, it was on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I never got into it.
I can understand why. It's kind of a selective thing for a lot of people because some people don't get the addiction of like getting all the bolts and leveling up all the guns. I don't know. I've always had like some sick fucking twisted addiction to it. I'm hoping this year is the year that they being EA reveal what the hell visceral Star Wars game is because I've been
No, I'm looking forward to that too. I've been playing the
figure it
shit out of KOTOR 2 again because ever since they updated it on Steam with the full HD expansion, and also I always liked KOTOR 1 more than 2, but now that I'm playing KOTOR 2 with the restored content mod, playing the way the game should have been all along, like it's hands down my favorite game of the two.
That's what I'm saying. I was the same way for the longest time, like my whole life. I've said that KOTOR 1 was better than 2, and then like they updated 2 and they gave it like this treatment, and it's so much more appealing. It's almost hard to play because the updated resolution, I didn't think it made a difference at all. It really does though. It's a lot easier on the eyes.
Well, it's funny because not every texture was updated, so you'll see like a really nice wall texture, but then the piece, like the computer, is like, oh, well, this is still like 2 pixels.
What else? I'm on Wikipedia right now. Do you guys know what Hellblade is? It's like by the people who made Ninja Gaiden or Gaiden. I don't know how it's pronounced.
I know what Ninja Gaiden is.
Is it Gaiden? It's Gaiden.
I think so.
Okay, whatever. It's one of those.
I know what you mean.
One of those names, but yeah, Hellblade.
Hellblade, PS4.
Is it?
It's a
Ninja
PS4
Theory.
exclusive. Oh no, it comes out on Windows as well.
I was gonna say, I swear if it's PS4 exclusive.
Upcoming video game being developed and published by Ninja Theory for Microsoft Windows and PlayStation 4. The game is set for release in 2016 and is described as independent AAA.
Huh.
I don't know if I'd say it's independent then.
Yeah, doesn't sound
Like if it's only being released on 2 systems, odds are that it's not necessarily independent because they're getting paid by Sony, like to some degree, to keep it off of
Microsoft.
Microsoft. Well, keep it off of Xbox, and that's we've seen that so many times before. We saw that with Titanfall, or isn't that going to happen with fucking Shenmue? Like that's not coming to Xbox, I think.
Oh no, I'm surprised though because Shenmue was Dreamcast, then 2.
It was Dreamcast.
Then 2 was
Yeah.
Xbox only.
I think 2 was still on Dreamcast as well.
I don't know.
I think
know
so.
2 was on the original Xbox though, and so I know for a fact it wasn't on PlayStation, or else I would have owned it because I love that series, and so to see it like now be a PlayStation 4 exclusive, like it's so weird.
Yeah. I also like that, and I always thought it was kind of stupid, and I like it in the sense that it kind of shows where we are now in like the gaming culture and how there's so much reliance on Kickstarters, is that we got to see it at E3 so they could announce the Kickstarter at Sony's press event. I was like, is this really where we are? At Sony's, like at their press event, they're announcing, oh yeah, you can give these people money so that they might make the game. Like,
yeah, and they're like,
You
we're
really
really proud
want
to
it.
back our partners. I'm like, you guys are. It doesn't seem like you're putting any money into this. But then they're like, yeah, $3 million, and we'll make an open world game. So Sony's providing some type of money.
yeah. But it's funny that they didn't have enough faith in the game to fund it, but they were still willing to have it at their conference specifically.
And it ended up being one of the most crowdfunded games ever. So
Yeah.
showed them right in a sense. But yet Sony's probably sitting there like, all right, profit time.
Yeah.
Got our money.
We'll take all the money now. The money that we didn't want to give you.
Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls.
I was never big
Jeez.
on Dark Souls. I realize that it's a fantastic game, but I'm just horrible at it. I might honestly get Dark Souls 3.
It looks different.
Is there an ongoing story like between the first and
there's
What
like-
I
second?
understand,
if you're-
the story is sort of like underlined and you have to find it on your own.
Yeah.
From what
Okay.
I
Yep,
understand.
that's basically it. Yeah, because really, if you, I'm not saying this because I know a lot of lore freaks out there for the Souls franchise would be upset.
Yeah.
But if you don't pay attention to it, not the end of the world. But like, if you pay attention, it rewards you in a sense because there is something going on.
Yeah.
It kind of it makes it more interesting because it gives context to these weird things that attack you because they throw the sickest looking things at you. Sick
Yeah.
being disgusting, not cool. And it's like, where did this thing come from? And if you pay attention enough and you read a little bit, like every now and then talk to people,
Yeah, because the only thing I think I've ever read about that game, because I played, I think, this first or the second one once, and then like I read about, because everyone always puts those the memes up of Praise the Sun.
Yep.
That I
So,
remember,
like,
yeah.
I watched a bunch of stuff about the
First
Sun
Dark
guy.
Souls, yeah. Praise the sun.
It's
Mafia 3?
one of those games where you get angry because you die a lot,
Mafia 3.
but I do have to hand it to the devs that when you die, it really is this sense of, okay, I know I messed up. It wasn't the game being bullshit, which is really nice.
That's one issue I had with Dark Souls 2, and is why I put it down, is because a lot of the times it was not my fault. Which is tough to say, but it was the only Souls game I put down and could not finish. I didn't like Demon Souls either. I just didn't like that one. Dark I liked and beat, and then I loved Bloodborne, and I beat that.
I was going to ask about Bloodborne because that's another, like, once again, PlayStation exclusive that it's like, I've heard so many good things about
That
it.
is a steep learning curve, though. I've seen more people cave out of that game than any other one.
Really?
Yeah. Divinity Original Sin 2 is happening? Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
I heard it's coming out.
Wow. Yeah, that's on this list. Deus Ex.
You see, I started off saying that it might not be a great year for games, but the more we talk about it, it's like, oh no, never mind. It's probably going to be it might be a bigger year than 2015 in terms of releases. I just don't know if every game is going to be as well received as some of the games in 2015 were.
You said that you mentioned, Matty, Mafia 3. Are you excited about that?
Oh, hell yeah. I can't wait. Because I try to make videos on that whenever I can. And I loved... I can't say I'm like a diehard fan of Mafia, because I really haven't played the first one.
I don't think I played, but like the second one is like, I love the second one so much.
The second one's so good. Also doing...
It's not really a game, but the second expansion for Witcher 3 is coming out, and I'm probably more excited for that than most games coming out. Like, I really am, because I loved Witcher 3, just the base game. The first expansion I thought was absolutely incredible, and Witcher 3 like got me into the actual book series. Like, I played Witcher 2, I was like, all right, this is fun. Didn't make me think I should get into the book series, but playing Witcher 3, because it was so heavily based on the books and everything established in them, I was like, I gotta read these now. Like, this was incredible.
I'm not diminishing it. It's just like, for me, most giant games with stuff to do in, I'm usually pulled into. But Witcher 3, like, there's just so much left for me to do in the terms of side quests and like areas to explore, and I just don't want to go back. And I even have the DLC for it too, and it's like I don't know why I can't get myself to play this game.
I don't know what point I got into it, but like the same thing. It was just like so much, and like I had forgotten what's going on in the main storyline. I was like, it's like, which one is, and where am I supposed to? So like, I was running out of memory, so I was like, you're a great game, but I'm gonna uninstall you because I gotta install other stuff.
Yeah, I beat it, but it took me like 4 months. I shit you not. Like I just like one night I was like, that's it. I'm beating it tonight, because I saw a tweet, someone say like, I beat Witcher 3 tonight. Man, what a game. I'm like, I'm sitting here like I've had this game since May and I'm yet to beat it. So I pushed through it. It was pretty good.
I remember for Borderlands 2, I got to the end of it and I like died at the boss, and I was like, I'll just go on YouTube and watch it. So I just went on YouTube and watched what happens. I was like, okay, I beat it, and then I just uninstalled it.
Yeah.
I played Borderlands 2 through like 3 times at least. I love that game.
I really enjoyed it my first playthrough. During the second playthrough, I just got really, like, unbelievably bored and was like, oh, all right. Which I didn't. That didn't happen with me for the first one. Like,
Yeah,
I played
the first one I played more.
2.5 times or whatever it was.
Yeah, I played the first one a lot.
Oh gosh, me and Noah were like obsessed with the first one. It was like $20 on Xbox at the time, and
Nice.
Yeah.
Scalebound. That game looks like shit. Oh.
There's the one indie one that everyone is very hyped about, the No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, because like,
See, I'm glad
I feel like
the
they're
only
trying to
one.
promise too much.
I said that last week. I'm like, I feel like this game is not going to have, like, it has the things, but not like the context to want to do those things. Like, how fun is going to a planet, discovering it, seeing these animals and plants going to be for like how long?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You could discover stuff for like the first week, and after that, everything will be discovered. Like, no matter what, I can guarantee. You're gonna go to anywhere you go, it'll be like, oh yeah, well, player XX, the Snipe XX owns this world. It's like,
Snipe.
Oh, all right. I'm just trying to think of the most like generic, annoying
Damn you,
like,
the
online
Snipe.
usernames.
I like the idea that you can name stuff you find though, so that I can.
I feel like there's gotta be.
There's gonna be so many dick jokes in the game.
There's gonna be
like
yeah,
they gotta have like
a
some
censor
kind
bar
of,
or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because like you're gonna find a bunch of like dick wallabies or something. It's just gonna be like, oh great,
Or it's going to get real racist real fast.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna have like a huge list of censored words.
Does anyone here pay attention to Final Fantasy at all?
No.
I got an email about, was it 7 or 8 that was getting a Steam release.
I think it was 9. I don't know. Something got re-released recently.
I'm the wrong one to ask. Is the thing.
Oh, okay, I'm just saying because 15 is supposed to finally come out this year,
Yeah.
and that's been in development since 2006.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
My
Wait, since
God.
before 13?
Yep.
Where was 13?
It was because
I'm
it
trying
was
to remember
originally
13.
called Final Fantasy Versus 13, and it was supposed
Oh,
to be
that's
like
right.
a spin-off, and then
That's right.
it got lost in development hell, and then people thought, all right, it's never happening.
And then they decided, let's make 3 of 13, because
Yeah.
that sounds like a great
And,
idea.
and then they were like, okay, let's shake off the dust at 13 because that was awful, and make Final Fantasy 15, which looks amazing. This is before like when they first showed it in like 2013. I really wasn't a Final Fantasy fan then, but I went back and played some of the older ones. I'm pretty excited. What else?
It's funny because when Al said indie game that everyone's excited for, I guess like the one indie game that I'm really looking forward to, I guess maybe is a bit more under the radar for just like mainstream wise, but I'm looking forward to this game called Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is a historically accurate medieval like role-playing game, and I'm really excited for it. Granted, I'm a little biased because I have contacts in like the developer studio, so I got access to the
I saw that video.
alpha.
I remember watching
But
it.
even before that, like I had been following it on Kickstarter and everything, but then like getting the email from them got me definitely back into it, and I'm kind of just waiting for because the beta comes out early 2016, and then the full game comes out like over the summer or fall, so it's gonna be good.
See, because I was wondering what happened to that game, and because when I saw your video, it reminded me. I'm like, is this game still in development? Because in like I think it was like 2014, early 2014, everyone was talking about it and how cool it looks, and then like it just kind of fell off the radar a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing with just Kickstarter games in general, I feel, is that most of the time, they'll announce a game, but then there's such a long period between the announcement and then the first playable versions. So it's just a matter of, it's hard to hold on to the interest if there's not stuff coming out every week or so, like you would get from a AAA developer who has the time, the money, and most importantly, the backing from like a corporate sponsor.
Let's see, are Gears of War 4? Is that supposed to come out?
I think so.
I think so.
I don't
Not a
remember-
huge Gears of War fan, so
I always
haven't
buy
played one
them.
at all.
I always buy them, but I don't
Well,
have
now
an
you won't.
Xbox. Yeah, now I won't because I don't have the new Xbox. So like, I don't know. They're always fun games. I always play like co-op with people.
XCOM 2?
Yeah, XCOM 2.
I was
XCOM
a
1
little
was
surprised that they
hard.
made it PC exclusive.
Wait,
And they
it
said
is.
it's like a graphics issue. It's like, listen, I love XCOM, but I don't think like XCOM is that graphically intensive that you can't run it on the new consoles at all.
really?
It just seemed a little lazy to me that they said that at all.
I didn't know that it was PC only. Wow. I guess I just assumed because it was.
There are so many good-looking games that can play on the consoles, like Witcher 3 and Fallout 4 run perfectly fine on the consoles. So I'm willing to bet that XCOM 2 they could have made run on the consoles.
Yeah,
like XCOM 2 is not going to
it'll-
be this
yeah.
amazing feat of like art that surpasses every other game we've ever seen that is impossible to run on the systems.
I agree.
I feel I don't know. I'm looking at it now. The only thing I could see that could maybe be pushing is like the home base is like each module is like doing stuff. I don't know. I mean, like
I
you
mean,
said,
that's
that could
possible,
just
but
be
I
an
was
excuse,
surprised
But
by that.
yeah,
Because they announced it, and they never said it would. They never said that it wouldn't come out on the other systems. I think it was originally announced for all systems, and then throughout the dev cycle, they were just like, "Yeah, never mind."
never mind.
It looks really good though. It looks
Yeah.
like the XCOM that everyone enjoyed, but also seems to update with some new enemies and classes and stuff. How about this? This is one that this one is a game that I think could fly under a lot of people's radars. I don't even know if you want to call it a game, but do you guys remember when this thing was announced? It looked insane. Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
Is that the one on phones?
Yes.
Okay,
Now
yes.
I'm not a phone game guy. Do not get me wrong.
I'm not a Pokemon guy, so
Ah.
I never really got into it. 'Cause I
Get
never
off
really
the podcast.
How?
I never really was big on Nintendo, I suppose. I mean, I was
can
big on like the
understand
Nintendo
that.
consoles, just not the handheld stuff,
I
really.
can understand not being big on Nintendo, but I don't know. I guess Pokemon's a lot like Star Wars for me, and I'm gonna get butchered for how I pronounce it. But for me, like I just think of it how that's like the thing that like everyone loves. So I get shocked whenever someone tells me they don't like it.
Don't worry, plenty of my friends are very shocked when I tell them that. Like, I've had my friend Matt gets mad at me when I'm just like, yeah, no, nothing
I
about
wouldn't
Pokemon.
get mad. I don't get that butthurt about someone's opinion, but
Looking at it now, I mean,
there's no like gameplay, but like it's like a trailer that depicts. So like when you go, like if I go to like I don't know, Italy, like I'll find specific Pokemon there. Like to me, that's like, what? Are you kidding me? Like,
You find Spaghetti Mon.
I typed in Pokemon Go gameplay, and the first video is like someone, obviously it's just some kids, and they're like in a park making believe they have footage, and there's like 1,000 dislikes because it's obviously just some kids fucking around, and they put this video up that says they have gameplay.
Take that, clickbait videos.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
Battleborn. That game looks. It's by the people who made Borderlands, and it's like a MOBA.
Okay. Huh. Oh yeah.
Oh, wasn't that with Bethesda?
Battleborn? No,
I don't know why I thought it was with Bethesda.
Cry? Is that the name?
That's right. Yeah, too many games with similar names.
It's funny because right below that is Battle Fleet.
It's too much. People come up with original names, please.
There's Dead Island 2 might be coming out.
What? Oh yeah, I forgot about that game. Who's developing that shit now?
Isn't it still Deep Silver?
Deep Silver? It says publisher Deep Silver, yeah.
Okay,
Like,
right, they're the
wasn't
publisher.
It was originally like Jaeger, the people who made Spec Ops: The Line, and now it's who's making it now?
Dead Island 2.
I'm gonna click on that.
Publisher Deep Silver.
Developed by an unnamed studio.
Well,
A
that's
secret.
That's
they don't even want to admit it now.
What the? What is going on with this game, man?
What does that
I don't
mean?
know.
Secret? Like, do they just tell people in the studios like you can't tell anyone that you're working on this game?
I feel like
Like, it's
Deep
gotta be the most
Silver-
strict NDA ever.
They've released like 100 of the same game. It's like there's Dead Island, then there was like Dead Island.
Riptide.
There was like
Riptide or whatever.
Riptide. Then there was they released 100, and then the one we played recently. Didn't they make that one too? Dying Light. Or
Dying
no?
Light, yep. Which
Yeah,
I think
it's-
was made by some of the same devs.
But
Yeah,
that was
it's like-
that
It
was what
was better than
yeah, I
Dead
was about
Island
to say
1,
that's
in my
what
opinion.
Dead Island should have been like.
Yes, exactly.
In terms of polish and questing and fun.
Yeah.
So I mean, hopefully, if and when this comes out, it will be pretty good. I'd imagine.
See, that's why
Yeah.
I was excited because it was Jaeger, and I thought that would be interesting because Spec Ops: The Line was like arguably one of the most morally difficult games to like play because there was
That's right.
never
Yeah.
a right, and so it was like
You always feel like a shitbag no matter what.
exactly, and like Dead Island was such like an intentionally cheesy series. I was wondering if they're going to take that same like serious aesthetic and like put it in this game and put like hard choices and stuff in there, and to see that they weren't developing it anymore actually like kind of upset me.
Yeah.
Because I remember with the trailer with Dead Island 1 with like the little girl and like that.
Which had nothing
And,
to
like-
do with anything.
Yeah, but like everyone was like, "This is gonna be awesome!" Like that's such an intense scene, and then it's like, "No, you don't get that. Sorry."
Yeah, no. You get
It's a
no
fun
ammo
game.
and you get to punch people.
Yeah, no ammo at all.
Also, a
but-
lot of connection issues. I remember.
See, I because I remember when I played Dead Island for the first time, it was on the 360 with Noah, and we didn't have like any issues with it. You know, it was just a lot of good fun. It like obviously had its glitches and bugs and stuff, but like everyone was excited for the next game because I remember thinking that, oh well, they know what's wrong, they'll get it right, and then like Riptide was worse somehow.
Because it was just like the exact same game. It was like a DLC almost.
Yeah, and we were just like, well, this is fun, but this is not why you didn't improve anything.
Yeah.
That's why people really like Dying Light. What else is on this list here? Fable Legends. Ew.
Weren't they supposed to make a Fable 4 and they just haven't said anything about it?
I wish. Obviously, Fable 2 still, I think, could be agreeably considered the best Fable game.
I think so, yeah. I did get Fable Anniversary though, and I mean I liked Fable 1 when it came out, but game's like over 10 years old now, so getting the Anniversary Edition was really fun to play through that again with the updated graphics and everything.
I want them to do that with KOTOR. Like, free money.
I would love that.
Free money. Like, do you
Yeah.
like EA? Do you like printing money?
Yeah. I always think that's just such a great thing that they did with KOTOR too, because it was so unexpected. They didn't have to do it, but they just made a free update, essentially overhauled the game to make it in HD. I was like, all right, that's amazing.
Yeah, for real. I remember I stayed over at my friend's house the night before, and I woke up, and I was just looking at my phone, and I see, like, KOTOR 2 with surprise update. I'm like, what? And I clicked on it, and it, like, has, like, not just, like, a tiny tweak. It's, like, yeah, it's HD. It's got controller support. It has mod support.
Yeah.
It has,
and
they
must have reached out to, I think they reached out to the mod authors for the restored content mod.
Yeah.
Because those were the first mods on there, like day one. And I was like, oh, well, they must have been aware. It's like, so that's even cooler of, Valve and Obsidian, because they must have, like, had this in mind. And it's like, it's nice to see them recognizing people in the community who are working on the game still.
Yeah, the people who did the update for KOTOR 2 were the people who did the port to the iPads and stuff for the first one.
For one.
Yeah, so I forgot what their name is. I think it starts with like an A or something. But yeah, they seem to really like the series. I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up taking the helm of the series or something like that, because have you ever noticed it's always like when companies go back and like remaster things and like work with old entries of the series in some way, they're almost like familiarizing themselves with it. Like a good example is Halo with 343, where they went back and remastered all the games.
Definitely. I'm still happy with the Master Chief Collection, even despite the multiplayer issues.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any issues with the campaign mode, so I was like, all right, well, that's primarily why I got the game.
Same. Shadow Warrior 2. Shadow Warrior 1 was really good.
It was really good. I remember, Al, didn't you do a full series on that?
I did half of it, I think, and then I stopped, but it's a very fun game.
Yeah, it's the gameplay in that game is ridiculous. You run around with a sword and a gun.
Yeah, and magic powers and just going crazy. There's, I just found this Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah, is that coming out this year?
That's what it says.
I wonder if Tom Clancy was alive, if he would be like, stop using my name on all
so many
these.
games.
Stop. I'm tired of these royalty checks. I'm rich enough. He would probably be pissed at The Division for not coming out yet.
Yeah.
He'd be like, take my name off of this.
Yeah.
What's it have to do with me even? Like, what does that game have to do with him compared to any other Tom Clancy game franchise out there? Like, Rainbow Six makes sense. Ghost Recon makes sense. Splinter Cell makes sense. But The Division, like, that's just...
I think it's
very out there compared
just
to the rest.
Familiarity kind of thing. Like, oh, Tom Clancy, I know what that is. You know, that's a renowned series, and then
It's like Far Cry Primal. Yeah.
exactly. Actually, yeah, that's probably a perfect example. Except
Once
the
again, it's
Division,
Ubisoft,
the Division alone, I think, would have still looked really good.
Yeah. I think it's one of the things where they could have, if they, hadn't delayed it 5 times, and they just had branched it as a new IP, not even using Tom Clancy, I think it would have done very well. And it can still do well. Like, it's not out yet, so...
The interesting thing is that game, when I first saw it, went from this is impossible, it's going to get canceled, to, like, now as games have kind of progressed.
It is impossible.
It is impossible or is possible?
It's still impossible because we still haven't gotten it, so...
I mean, like, I guess I'm believing in what the game is more, because when I first saw it, I there wasn't many games like it. That, like, seamless MMO, but yet co-op, and, like, had all this attention to detail and stuff, and... I was thinking to myself that this game would never see the light of day, and then it kept getting delayed. I was just waiting for the cancellation. Now it has a release date, and I'm assuming, based off rumors I've heard, that it should release come March.
I'm just hoping it's not another issue with with Watch Dogs, where it had all this hype building up to it, and then it was just disappointing. Like, I hope The Division does well, because I am still interested in the game in the end.
How about Mirror's Edge Catalyst?
I never played the original, so
I liked the original.
I tried the original, and I just could not get it.
I liked the original, but the thing about Catalyst is it's not a sequel. It's essentially
a reboot.
Reboot of the franchise that had one game. It's like, that's not...
Isn't it like a prequel or some shit?
I think it's either a prequel or it's just a retelling of the same story.
I mean...
Exactly. But it's like, it's almost as if they didn't have enough faith in themselves to keep on pioneering the series.
Well, I know everyone always says, like, oh, they love Mirror's Edge, but, like, I mean, like I said, like, I never played the original, so, I mean, I guess to get new people into it, it's kind of a good idea. I don't know.
I guess so, yeah.
I'm running out of games here.
Tom Clancy's Pokemon Go, I see here.
What?
Tom Clancy's Pokemon Go.
You trap Pokemon with M16s. It's perfect.
You store them in flashbang grenades.
Yes. Oh, that'd be perfect.
Street Fighter 5.
Oh, I suck at.
Yeah, I was about to say,
I
who
hate-
cares?
Not hate, but I'm horrible at any one of those traditional fighting games.
I hate Street Fighter. What about Cuphead? You guys ever?
Cuphead.
What?
That game looks awesome. Have you ever seen like one of those really, really old-fashioned cartoons? Look up gameplay for it. It looks awesome.
Cuphead.
Oh yeah, it looks like Steamboat Willie.
Oh,
Holy crap!
I've seen this before actually. I didn't realize it was a game. I thought it was an actual cartoon.
Awesome.
That's incredible. Oh,
It was
Wow.
Ooh, there's co-op gameplay.
I know what we're doing videos for once it comes out. Oh, and it's a Xbox One M Windows game, so it might even be part of the the cross-platform thing.
correct.
Sweet.
Wow, fate.
awesome.
Bringing people together here.
It really is shaping up to be a good year for 2016. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
The Last Guardian apparently is finally supposed to come out. I don't know if you guys ever paid attention to like how many times this game has been like supposed to have a
Oh
release.
right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then like they showed gameplay for it and people were like crying and I'm like, this looks stupid. This guy is
I think
this little kid
that's one of
is
the few
jumping to a
games-
bird dog.
I think that's one of the few games where it's been delayed so much that it spans 2 different console generations.
It does because I think
It's one of the few games that's ever done that. So
because what was
kinda
it supposed to
funny.
be a sequel for? I know it was actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, it wasn't supposed to be a sequel for anything because I remember someone describing the excitement to me. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the game Shadow of the Colossus for
Yes,
PS2.
yeah.
oh yeah.
They were like
Oh, yeah.
saying that like the reason people were so excited for The Last Guardian was because they didn't know what it was, but they just knew it was another game from the people who made Shadow of the Colossus. That's why it was exciting.
That's
I mean,
what
it has a very similar feel to it, just from what I've seen in terms of gameplay. So that's another reason I'm sure people are excited. So
I don't know. I put down Shadow of the Colossus. Like I killed like 4 or 5 bosses, and I was like, okay, yep, I've seen enough. This got annoying after a while.
I've never owned any PlayStation systems, so my experience with it was always just at friends' places. But I really enjoyed like what I did play on it.
What's Space Hulk Deathwing? What the fuck?
Let's just put all these words together.
Upcoming first person.
Eventually, it'll make
shooter.
some sense.
Does that sound like a shooter to you?
Space Hulk Deathwing.
Yeah, upcoming
No.
first person shooter.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at images. It looks like Warhammer 40K or something.
Hey, guess what? The game is set in the Warhammer 40K universe.
Oh, whoa! All right.
All right, now it makes sense.
Yeah, the name not so much, but
Space Hulk.
Space.
like Hulk of all things. It's like I'm surprised. All right,
Surprised Marvel's not stepping in there and being like, hey,
hey, where's our money?
you guys.
Like Disney's just like, hey, what you doing there?
let's see.
Looks interesting. There's like off-screen gameplay someone recorded at like some con. They snuck their phone in. Kind of has, I don't know.
You see,
Kinda
we can't get away with that shit anymon
No, not allowed. It kind of looks like it has an old school FPS, kind of like a Doom. But it seems like you can upgrade stuff. It looks like. Seems pretty sweet.
There's gonna be too many games this year. Like, there's gonna be another
I was about to
AAA
say,
game
yeah.
coming out every week,
Good.
and we're just gonna sit here going like,
Mind you,
what do I
this
get?
is us talking for over an hour on shit coming out this year. There's
Yeah.
obviously at PAX and E3 going to be a shit ton more announcements for
yeah.
the holiday season.
I'm so excited for PAX South. We're less than a month away.
How about that Sonic Boom Fire and Ice? Oh.
Evolve 2.
Now with less content.
Play for at least 8 hours.
I was gonna
and
say
then
8
get
minutes. 8 minutes. You've seen all the maps, and you're like, there's one monster.
Evolve Titanfall 2.
Listen, I got more hours out of Titanfall.
Yeah, I got
than
I was gonna
a
say,
lot.
I was
Yeah.
gonna sit there quietly thinking to myself, I like Titanfall.
No, I
like
love
Titanfall.
Titanfall.
I liked Evolve. It's just I got bored of it quick.
Oh yeah, because there was nothing to do. Like even the quote unquote not online stuff, it was just exactly the same for the most part.
How about Unravel?
Unravel.
It is a indie game published by EA.
But then it's not indie.
Okay, it is about yarn.
It is
Like, wasn't the whole thing about indie games is that there's no publisher? Unless I'm just
Unless they
I
started
am
it.
unsure.
I don't know.
I'm unsure.
Yeah.
Maybe it's actually technically not an indie game. It looks
I'm,
like.
I'm also not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that if they're branding it as an indie game, but then it's like, but published by EA, it's like, well
I
then.
might have spoken too soon. It's not saying anything about it being indie here, but it's a game where you play as a
Little yarn
figure.
man.
Yeah, made a yarn, and his name is Yarny.
Oh,
Creative.
The main villain is a cat.
I'm watching some gameplay. It looks very. It looks like the graphics look beautiful.
I felt when the guy revealed the game,
Mm-hmm.
it was like a project he came up with when he was like traveling the world, and he was just like putting the yarn guy in different places and taking pictures, and that's when he got the idea. And like when I felt like it was almost heartwarming, but I felt so bad because he was shaking so much when he revealed this game because he was so nervous what people would think, and like people ended up loving the idea and like really getting behind it.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, it was during EA's like that was like one of two bright spots during that awful conference. That shit was terrible.
Yeah.
That still goes down in history as the worst press conference I've fucking seen.
I feel like E3 this year was, for the most part, like all over the place.
Yeah, Bethesda was the only one who did it right.
And they did it even before like E3 technically started. They did it the night before like the show floor opened.
That is true. They're like, yeah, we're not a part of you guys. But
It's like, no, this is our first time doing this. I don't know if Bethesda's going to do another one this year.
I can't see
Like that
it.
might have been their big year for.
I can't see it.
like E3.
The only thing that sucks though is that I think to myself that like, what if if they do another conference, then another announcement's coming.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, and think of how much they announced this year alone. It was Doom, Fallout 4, obviously, and then there was a ton of other shit that they showed off as well. But I really doubt that we're going to see another huge push from Bethesda for like the next couple of years at the very least.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to have an E3 conference to announce a Fallout 4 DLC. Like that's just ridiculous.
Did they have? Yeah, I don't know. I guess they would just release it on. Yeah, there's no need to.
Yeah, they would have,
big-
they would have it shown at one of the other conferences as a trailer, but that would probably be it.
Unless,
Which is kind of what they've always done before, I
I
think.
know Bethesda expanded their game development team to Montreal, which I don't think would speed it up that much where they can like do another game so fast. I just wonder, like, I don't know. I feel like all they would be able to show if they did a show this year would be like Dishonored, which I feel is going to get delayed, then Fallout 4 DLC. And I mean, to tell you the truth, like I didn't predict that they do a mobile game for both Elder Scrolls and Fallout. So like, who knows what else they could have up their sleeve?
Yeah.
But,
What I'm thinking from the Montreal studio is that, because it's not like very well known, but apparently Obsidian has gone out on the record and said that they really don't want to work on other people's franchises anymore because they feel like they've been screwed over a couple times. Because LucasArts screwed them with Coder 2 by pushing.
Yeah.
But they got screwed on Coder 2 because their timetable was pushed up so that they had to release it like several months earlier than expected. Then they were told they would have to have it ready for. And then New Vegas, they felt like they were screwed a bit as well.
Yeah, with
so
that-
I can
that
understand why they
bonus.
want to step away and do their own stuff. But so I guess if there is going to be a like an equivalent to Fallout New Vegas on the Fallout 4 engine, it would probably be from the Montreal studio. And it's also Bethesda's way of being able to keep it all internal, I suppose.
You see, we talked about this a little bit because I know they said that there's only like 40 plus people. I said peepers. 40 plus people at the Montreal studio. So I think to myself a little bit that it sounds more like an expansion than like a separate team that could do their own thing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're just going to help the one in the main Bethesda game studios. I wonder if they're just going to help them rather
It's
than
very
do their own
possible.
thing.
It might just be sort of like just a separate office.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only good thing I immediately took away from it, I'm like, okay, no more 5-year development times. 4 or 5 years.
I guess we'll see. Yeah.
I can't stand that.
I'm just curious how long it will be until we see the Elder Scrolls 6. And I realize that Fallout 4 just came out, but I'm already playing more Skyrim again than I am Fallout 4.
That's funny. That's one of our viewer questions, so we can talk about that a little bit later. But I guess, is that all the games that we could really talk about? Is there any final thing? I really
That's
think...
a lot of games.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
I mean, last
It's more than I expected there to be.
Hitman, that's one.
Uh,
Who cares? Okay, we'll move on.
yeah.
Segment 3, what we're playing, favorite gaming news. Anyone prepared, ready to go, or shall I?
I mean, I've only been playing it just because it came out, but I've been playing the newest Black Ops.
That's
a little bit.
That's a little surprising to hear.
Yeah, I don't know. I always usually jump in and play it the first few weeks it's out, and I play it with George.
Hey.
He did a stream or two, I think, on it. It's a pretty fun game. Nothing amazingly new. It's the same old.
But there's something different about it. I can't put my finger on it that I really like about Black Ops 3. I haven't played it in a while, but like, I have not raged off of it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's something about it that I really like.
I think the gameplay is just a little tighter than it has been.
Yeah, they
in the
probably balanced it
subsequent
out.
years.
Because I know Advanced Warfare
Yeah.
was like the first. Yeah, it was like the first Super Future one. So like, I feel like they probably learned like, okay, what works, what doesn't, and they trimmed it back.
The best thing they did was when they added those like jetpack things in Black Ops 3, that they didn't make it so that you fly all over the fucking place,
Yeah.
like in Advanced Warfare, where like you could be shooting someone, they will just spring out of the screen. You have no idea where they went. I'm just like, because like.
Yeah.
My best phrase for describing Advanced Warfare was making Call of Duty a Twitch shooter, and even twitchier shooter by like,
Yeah.
like how do you react fast enough after they do that initial like second movement?
I think just it's funny for Black Ops 3 though, like the sound of your little like jump jets is so underwhelming. It's just like shoop shoop. Like, all right, it's not very intimidating,
when you're
but
like
all right.
running, you're like boom, boom, boom. Like it's so hit and miss.
Yeah. It's fun though. I'm glad I got it just because I wanted more sort of multiplayer shooters to have, because I really didn't have any. The only one I had that came out this year was Halo 5, but I have almost no friends on Xbox anymore. So I got Black Ops 3 just because I wanted something on PC that I could play.
Yeah, and
Is it good on PC? I know it's primarily a console game.
yeah, it's good.
There's definitely less people. Like I tried to play Demolition, and I think there was maybe 3% of all players playing Demolition.
Well, yeah, I do hardcore, so like that's
that's
even
right.
less, and so like the people will join a game,
Hardcore
quit out,
CTF.
yeah, CTF, and then they come back.
Oh.
They come back and they're like, "Is this the same server I was just in?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we're the only 8
We're
people playing
the
this."
5 people playing CTF hardcore.
I play Don't get me wrong, because I've actually, funny you say that, like whenever I go on now, I do play hardcore with my friends, but definitely not CTF. I hate CTF.
You think it's like why don't too unbalanced or just...
Well, okay. This goes back to my roots as a competitive player formerly.
Okay.
Mind you, during high school and my geek days, as if I'm not a geek now.
I was about to say.
As if I've changed. But for me, I only liked competitively Search and Destroy. And so that was the game mode that I was all about. Like, Domination was kind of my second thing. And I just hated CTF because like it was so... I hate spawn delays. That's kind of part of the thing. And it's weird because in Search and Destroy you only have one life. So I guess my hate for spawn delays fueled my play because I didn't like sitting at the spectating screen.
Yeah.
And so I guess also mainly for pubs. Like I don't like the spawn delay either, even though it makes sense. But it makes it so easy to get spawn trapped because when you die, you're waiting to spawn in for like 7.5 seconds, at least in competitive rules. That's usually how it goes. And so, like, in that 7.5 seconds, you can get from one end of the map to the other.
That's true. It's understandable.
I don't know. I'm weird, though. It's hard to
I think we all are. I think that's the point.
Yeah,
It's hard
so
to
it
relate.
works.
So, Black Ops 3, huh? Interesting. What about you, George? What are you playing?
I know Al just got it as well because I told him to. I just got Rainbow Six Siege. And
yes.
the game's really fun, but goddamn is it unforgiving. Like, even on... There's no easy... The easiest difficulty is normal, and goddamn, they will fuck you up real hard.
Oh, you played the situations?
I was playing through the situations. I got up to the one
The
where...
one with the bombs all over the houses? Or no?
I got up to the one where you have to save the hostage, and there was a guy with a bomb vest.
Right, yeah.
And I just got killed so many times, and it was like 2 a.m. I was like,
Yeah,
So I'm
I
just gonna
would-
do it when I'm more awake.
yeah. I was streaming it yesterday, those little missions, and I was like, this will be easier, so I won't look like I suck. And then like I kept dying. I was like, fuck it, we're going multiplayer.
I was about
It
to
was
ask you if
just
you
like-
tried the multiplayer because that I didn't touch the situations at all because I already knew how to play because I got into the alpha, and so when I played the multiplayer, I think this game is so underrated. Like, why are more people not playing this game? Is my question.
It's funny because one of the reasons I got it was because some of the YouTubers that I watched were doing videos of it, and I was like, well, this looks really fun. And then I saw it was on sale, and I was like, when's the next time this
Yeah.
game's going to be on sale for 25% off? So I was like, I'll get it. I'm fine with that.
I mean, everyone I've played it online with is pretty good. I mean, I think the main thing I was kind of worried about is like I wasn't sure if I was gonna get it because I was like, oh, do I need to be like super tactical and like serious and stuff? But I mean, all the servers I've jumped in, there's always one guy with a mic like kind of coordinating and being like, all right, I'm going
remember
up
that.
here. So it's there as long as you got one guy who's
See, I
You know,
I
it-
hate to admit it, but like I'm that guy.
which is perfect because like I won't talk. Like I'll just follow and I'll be like, all right, I'm going with you guys. And,
I
like,
don't.
won't
Yeah, I
say
don't do that in
anything.
public matches. I feel weird just talking to myself. But I meant like when I'm with my friends, like they come to
Right,
me
right.
for the plan, and I'm like,
Okay.
all right, let's bang this one out. I don't know. I see. I enjoy the tactical aspect because I've played Call of Duty and Battlefield. Even could be arguably a fast-paced shooter at times for so many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually nice to like slow down and like think it through. Where like getting 2 kills in a round is really
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of regret that I never got Battlefield 4, and it makes me want to get like
Same.
it makes me want to get the next one for sure. Like the next, if it's either Bad Company 3 or Battlefield 5, whatever it is, like I'm probably going to get it as long as it's not another sort of spin-off like Hardline was.
I was
Yeah.
so confused about Hardline. I didn't know what the hell it
I-
was.
Oh, don't worry, I'm still confused about
I
it.
really liked Hardline, but like it just no one caught on to it. I
I
enjoyed
played
it.
the beta and I was just like, okay, this is fun, but I just
They
didn't.
should have,
really-
in retrospect, even though I said like you could buy this game and get away with it. Like in retrospect, they probably should have just made an expansion, just for.
It seemed like it to me,
Battlefield
which is
4.
one of the
That's what
reasons
I
I didn't
thought
want to
it
pay
was,
full
yeah.
price for it.
I get why they did it though. From a company standpoint, you can't leave the franchise like empty for that many years while they're working on Battlefront. Like I feel like
Yeah.
with Battlefield having a sour taste in people's mouths, like they don't even do they do DLC for Hardline? Because like I hear more
don't
DLC
think
coming
they
out
did.
for 4, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what's weird? I don't hear any type of DLC being announced for Hardline.
Yeah. The fact that we're still hearing about DLC for 4, I'm amazed by that.
Same.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, it seems like they just have a hard on for that game. They're like, we fucked up, but we're coming back. Oh, you still not enough? All right, fine. Here's some more.
Here's 18 more maps.
Because I played the
Enjoy.
shit out of 3, and I remember I got all the
Same.
DLCs, and I absolutely loved it.
Yep.
So
That's
I kind of felt bad that I didn't get 4, but
Definitely
I'll just make up
the-
for it with the next one.
This is definitely the last shooter that I can think of where I held on to it for its entire life cycle and got all the DLC for it and stuff because it was just such a good game. I mean, 4 though, because it had such a busted launch, I never tried it, and then I just haven't
I
gotten
played
around
it.
to it.
I enjoyed it a lot. I know a lot of people complain just because they had issues, but
Oh, with like the netcode or whatever it was.
yeah, I mean,
I hear it's amazing now though. It's like the best Battlefield game now.
it's
but-
it's $10 on right now.
wow.
You don't say.
I do save 50%.
It's funny because as we were talking about this, I was pulling up Origin, and then you said $10, and I was like, well then. I just bought Siege though, so I don't know if I'm gonna buy another game immediately.
I'll donate $10 to you.
How about that Battlefront? Anyone here play Battlefront?
I played the beta.
Yeah, we played the beta.
The beta was amazing. Yeah.
The beta was a lot of
'Cause
fun.
that's the
and
full
then
game.
I heard that was half of the game. Yeah. And
It literally is. It is no joke.
I was like, oh, I played half the game for free, so that's good for me. I'm fine.
Which actually, that's funny because although this kind of breaks up the flow, my news for the week is that Battlefront sold 12 million copies in 2 months.
That's
How?
really good.
Yeah.
Because
But why?
I feel like it's because we talk about games and stuff, but like I feel like the majority of gamers are just like, it's Star Wars, I'm buying it.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. It's a game.
what's-
I remember Battlefield.
Yeah,
What's
that's
weird
so
is
they just-
with these numbers, they have like a live website that shows how many people are on Battlefront. I forgot what it's called, but there's like an absurdly low number of people playing.
I remember it was really high on PlayStation 4.
Yes, it's high
compared to
on
everything
PS4,
else.
and then like PC and Xbox are almost dead.
Yeah.
Like they barely tip over 100,000 people, which I think for 12 million copies sold probably should be a higher number.
Well, Al, I guess you better buy that PS4 that your friend suggested just so you can play Destiny and Battlefield.
Yep. Current online players. I don't know if this is. I guess this is. I don't know. PC 21,000 right now. Xbox One 98,000. PS4 158,000.
That's a lot more than it was.
Wow.
It's still low,
The
but
PC market is dead on that apparently.
Yeah.
which is
And then
kinda
again, people
funny
just don't
'cause
like
it's-
Origins, so
Yeah, it's true. You think I was gonna say it's kind of funny because the game itself is actually very good on PC. That's where I played it.
It's a beautiful game. I mean, everyone says
it
it's a
looks
beautiful game, but
like it's straight
is-
out of the movies.
Yeah. And then there was that. I don't know
I
what
don't even like giving them credit for that though, because they talked about it for so much. It's like, all right, it's a nice looking game. What about the game?
Yeah.
Where's the rest of it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, it's behind the $60 DLC paywall.
Like people are always like, don't get me wrong, it's a great looking game. I'm like, I'm not getting you wrong, man. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't care
It's
if it
like
looks
I
good.
can look at it all day long, but that doesn't mean shit when there's nothing to do.
Yeah, for real. If I want to look at
Like,
something
if-
nice, I'll go
if
to
they
an art
added-
gallery or some shit.
Yeah. If they added Galactic Conquest even, it would be like, all right, that's fine, because it would have enough replayability. Because I played the shit out of Galactic
Same,
Conquest
same.
back with 1 and 2. But
They
getting rid of all of that is like,
I understand they didn't have a lot of development time with this game because they had to create assets and then actually build the game in like 2 years. Like EA kind of fucked them on that.
yeah.
But I feel like Battlefront 2 will be really good. Hopefully. I don't want to speak too soon.
I hope so. I really do.
Well,
I
like,
hope it gets to what we saw from the canceled Battlefront 3.
Oh my goodness.
Because that looked fantastic. And I know you'll occasionally see someone on Twitch playing it, and I'll just watch and sit and just watch those streams all day.
They actually, like, just before Battlefront had released, they had more leaked gameplay for that game, and it looked so good,
Yeah.
man. Because it was like a whole trailer too. It had like the campaign, and it had all the multiplayer, and it looked like what everyone wanted Battlefront 3 to be.
Pretty much. It's just a matter of like they could have easily avoided a lot of this if they had just added a couple more game modes. Or like just made a single player mode. And no, it didn't have to be something absolutely groundbreaking because even the story in 2 wasn't exactly groundbreaking. It was essentially just like
The battles.
customized missions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But that's fine.
but
That's all I needed.
I don't know if you guys haven't, so you don't have the game. The single player missions is actually what they're called in the new Battlefront, and they are just awful. There's no objective. You kill people and pick up tags.
I remember
that is the new that is the
that-
that is the change in the single player.
Well, here's the funny thing, because that was supposed to be the only co-op mode as well. I heard that it's not even co-op. I hear that it's that you both play it at the same time and then you compare scores. Which is really horrible.
How do you fuck that up? Like, who just sits there and goes like, "That's
Who sat there and was like, we can get away with this if we call it co-op? It's like, no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to think that all these design decisions, someone sits in a room and goes, all right, ship it.
This is acceptable.
Yeah, this is acceptable. Ship it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And I know I've mentioned this to Al before, but I think developers should just hire people who aren't like necessarily developers, but to just sit there and be like, this is stupid, so that they know. Just hire like gamers, or even in our case, like YouTubers, just be like, what do you think of this? And be like, that is stupid. I will not pay for that. And they're like, got it.
Yeah, it's funny. We were joking about this last week that they should just literally have a guy sit in the development room and just be a professional roaster. And just shit on what is not good about the game as if you would in a video.
Yeah. I can see where it would go wrong, but I feel for the most part it would just save like so much time and effort for us, like trying to find out what game is actually worth it, because we're getting like ripped off left and right.
It's very rare though that a game that like they invite YouTubers in months and months in advance to like try out and stuff ends up going wrong though. I think a good example is like Far Cry 4. They got us in way in advance and they made some like necessary changes in the game. I think benefited from it.
Just not to the PC port.
Yep. Because we played that.
That's never going to happen. So you know, the PC versions will never be fantastic, unfortunately.
So our final segment is our fan questions, and we got a doozy of questions here today. And this actually kind of fits into what we were just kind of talking about. Richie101 asks, how do you think shitty game practices like EA or Activision will affect games in 2016 and beyond?
I think some developers and publishers are finally starting to catch on, and I think Destiny was a really good example. And it might have been more so with Bungie than with Activision itself, but Bungie realized that they had really screwed up with Destiny's launch and then kind of fixed a lot of those issues when they released the Taken King expansion. Yes, you still had to pay for it, but I bought Destiny when it released, and I was like, really not happy with this.
Yeah.
I bought Taken King, and it kind of like fixed every issue I had with the game, even though I had to pay to have it fixed. So I think developers are starting to realize like what they can and can't do and what's considered acceptable for people nowadays, and they will try to do their best going forward to avoid, pissing everyone off.
I mean, I don't know. Going back to like the Battlefront thing and how much they sold, I mean, I feel as long as they're making money, I don't know how much it matters if people are angry at them. I mean, obviously it'll possibly affect future sales, but I think if they're making what they thought they were going to make, not too sure if they're going to be changing much, but I don't know.
But is that what they thought they were going to make? Because I remember there was a very high estimate for what they thought Battlefront was going to pull in.
I know they
because
said...
I think they had to promise it to Disney or something. They were like, okay, we bought the rights for the franchise and the game is going to make this much in sales. I think it might have been higher than 12.
Yeah, it's 13 million. I'm looking it up now.
Damn. And so they're actually really close then.
Yeah, so, I mean...
That's a lot of games to sell still. Another 1 million copies, and we're at the end of the holiday season now, so it's hard to say if they're going to sell that extra 1 million.
If everyone is saying, like, oh, this game isn't good, I got it for Christmas, or, Hanukkah, or whatever, I mean, it could go the other way. I mean...
Yeah.
The thing, though, is that it sells so many copies, but the games are not as populated, and I don't know... Yeah. Like, as a developer, do you care? Or as, the person who's paying you money, do you just go, okay, well, the game sold 12 million copies. That's enough to give me my paycheck.
I guess as a developer, you wouldn't care because then you don't have to worry about the servers being overloaded.
That's true.
You're like, I get the day off. Yay. Not a good attitude, but hey, I can see that happening.
I don't know about Activision. They have, like, moments where it's like they do good things, but then, like, there are games that they just fuck up. Like, I'm really afraid because apparently there's a rumor for a Ninja Turtle game to come out from Platinum Games, and like as a lifelong Ninja Turtle, I don't even want to say fan, like freak. I will be so mad if they fuck up another game because they released. It was called Out of the Shadows, I think. It was like a 360 arcade title.
I remember it. Yep.
And it got such bad reviews. And I was like the only one who kind of enjoyed it because they had the right ideas, but it was so buggy. And like that was the last time I played a fresh Ninja Turtles game. They've had these like the 3DS games and crap that I guess I could play, but like I'm looking back on these days where like Konami made those like 3 really good Ninja Turtle games. Those like beat 'em ups.
Yes, those are amazing.
Oh my goodness. Or you go really back, I forgot who made it, but like the Turtles in Time.
Right, yeah.
That shit was amazing. So like if they fuck this up, like for me, like I think I agree, George, that they're learning, but I feel like they're still like they don't get it.
Yeah, I think Konami has a lot to learn since you mentioned that.
Oh yeah.
After the whole issue with Kojima, it's like, man, they just don't know what they're doing, and I think it's so obvious.
Yeah, they got rid of Kojima, so now they're basically their full swing is done now. They are now officially like in the mobile market. Yeah. Pachinko machines, like they don't fucking care.
Pretty much.
I can't believe it, man. They used to their name used to be on a lot of my favorite games growing up.
Yep. And now they're going to be on a lot of your favorite phones.
Yep. EA and Activision. Well, GhostChild200 asks, what is the first game you got all the achievements and trophies for? Or rather, trophies.
Xbox.com. Here I go. I know I've perfected like 8 or 9 games total.
Same. It's a very small amount for me as well.
Yeah.
Even though it feels like a lot because it was so much work.
Yeah. But I know I could probably name all the games. I'm just trying to remember which one would have been first.
I remember my first one.
What was it?
Forget your first.
I was about to say my first platinum trophy, which is getting all the trophies in the game, was Sly Cooper 2, Band of Thieves, which is like one of my favorite games growing up because this is like when HD collections were cool. You know, when they weren't for every game that just released within a year. Like, this is when HD collections came for the games on the PS2 that needed to be brought for people to experience again on the PS3. And so I found out, like, oh, man, they remade Sly Cooper. This is, like, my favorite series ever. And so I went out, spent, like, $30, bought it, and, like, I found out that the trophy list for all 3 of these games was disgustingly easy. Like, you don't even have to beat the game to get all the trophies, basically. And so that was the one that I got because it was like collect certain power-ups and I think collect the bottles on each level. Like, it was just such simple little things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was the first one for me.
Al?
I guess if it's 100% or something, I guess maybe one of like Mario 64. If I can go back that far.
I mean, I guess you could.
I guess so, yeah.
If you really want to, dude.
Yeah, Mario 64 or like I remember I have hardly done 100% on anything, but I remember GTA 3 I got 100% and like I had never gotten arrested on my save game, and I went to my friends for a sleepover and he got arrested he drove too slow in a car and he got arrested for that, and I was like, you motherfucker, 100% and I never got arrested.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh sorry man. I was like, yeah,
oh sorry man,
okay.
They never talked again.
I was just defeated. I was like, crap.
I just love it. He's like, oh sorry man.
Like, whatever.
This is my life.
This is my world.
What about you, George?
So I think my first one was actually Fallout 3 on the 360. Yeah. And then after that, that's when I started getting into doing more 100% games. So I did New Vegas years later, Mass Effect 2 and 3. I don't even count the Telltale games because you just get all the achievements just for playing the game.
Everyone's like, platinum Platinum The Wolf Among Us, right? Platinum Walking Dead.
Oh, so you played the game.
Yeah,
wow, that's real cool.
You
This is
sat
not
down
an accomplishment.
and clicked a couple buttons. Good job. Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed. Fallout 4's achievements are super easy.
Yeah, I'm like
except for the 100% settlement.
Yeah.
Happiness meter or some shit.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, make a video on it. I'm like, there's no secret. It's just really a bad.
Apparently, the secret is that Sturgis is an asshole and just don't do it in Sanctuary because he doesn't do anything.
Really?
That's what I've been told. Yeah, because apparently him just hammering on that one fucking house, like, that means he'll never do anything. And if you have a settler who just doesn't contribute at all, apparently that detracts from the happiness.
Why is that a thing?
Who knows?
Oh my goodness.
Mama Murphy needs some jet.
Sturgis is also a synth.
Is he really?
What?
Yeah. I mean, they never reveal it in the game. It's just people found out from
like one of the
using console commands to kill him, and he had a synth component on him.
You know who else is a synth?
Mongolia?
Yep.
Or Magnolia. Mongolia.
Yeah, Magnolia is. I think I told you that.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Someone shot her and sent me a picture of her dead body, and they're like, "Look at who's the synth." I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Like, oh, you shot her. You're messed up.
The one traitor is an informant. The lady who's like, you need directions.
There's a couple different traders who are informants.
Yeah,
I know Cricket is, and then the Trash Can Carla is as well.
Yeah, Trash Can Carla. That's who I meant.
Her. Ugh. She doesn't sell anything good.
No, she just hangs out in Sanctuary for me. She's like just standing there. I'm like,
yeah, she stands literally in the middle, like
right
in the middle of the road, right outside where all my crafty shit is. I'm like, you're throwing me off. Like, go interact with shit.
Oh god. And then what's that one lady that always like, I'll be happy when everything's okay.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. And her husband's always depressed or whatever.
Yeah, because he let.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't
I'm just like,
him.
I was like, I get it. You have running water. You have food. There's 100 centuries.
Yeah.
Chill out.
It's like,
I even made a bar,
I just
damn it.
wish I did something. I'm like, what are you talking about? I played like over 100 hours. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think his family got killed in like the last town in Preston Gravy, which is what I call him.
Yeah.
And everyone always tries to correct. It's not Gravy. His name's Gravy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's like, listen, your wife was killed in front of you, and you're not bitching around like the whole game. So,
Yeah.
like, come on, man up.
While we're talking about 100%ing games, though, is there any other games that we here have 100%ed? I think one I'm most proud of is Bloodborne. I brag about that enough, though.
That's pretty incredible. Yeah.
I don't know, because it was like during a period in school where like in the beginning of the semester, you know how you usually like they ramp up the work and then like right after it just drops off sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it was like right in February where like the work had just dropped off, so like every day I'd just come home and play for like 5 hours. And so I was like obsessed with that game. I think the other one that I was pretty happy that I 100% it was Shadows of Mordor.
Ooh.
That was kind of like
nice.
It was kind of a Ubisoft-ish game though, because like you just climb the tower and then do all the side shit. So
Yeah.
it wasn't too hard. But like there was this one trophy. It was like Wild Hunt or like something like that, or the White Rider, and like you had to ride on the back of something and like kill 20 enemies in 2 minutes or something like that.
Jesus.
And it was so hard.
I think my proudest was probably Mass Effect 3 just because
That's
the
hard.
insanity difficulty was
Oh yeah,
really annoying at
Holy
times.
Shit, you did that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was tough, but I managed, and I was like really happy at the end. I was like,
You
thank
probably
God.
wanted to shoot yourself the amount of times you heard the don't.
It was funny because that
Anytime
wasn't
you
even my last achievement, which was the funny thing because the Citadel DLC hadn't even come out yet, so I still had to do all those achievements after.
What now? See, since you sound like you've played a lot more Mass Effect than me, I need to ask what is so special about the Shadow Broker DLC?
So that's for Mass Effect 2 then.
Yeah.
I think the reason it was considered special was because it was one of the first times we really saw a DLC that was leading up to the sequel.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
And then also, I mean, in some ways, I think maybe elements of it should have been in the base game to begin with, but they might have just not had those ideas for the story when they made the game. But it just felt like a really, really well done add-on. The environments were really great. The story writing was great as well. And because everyone was so excited for Mass Effect 3, the fact that this was something that would tie into the third game is something that I think a lot of people just connected with.
Okay. That's interesting, because I was always wondering, because I always hear people say like their favorite DLC in like any game is like Shadow Broker, and I'm like, I've never played it, but I love Mass Effect.
My favorite DLC is still Shivering Isles for Oblivion.
I actually, believe it or not, I was obsessed with fucking Oblivion. That's all I played for like a year, and I never
Such
played.
a good game.
Never played Shivering Isles.
It was incredible. It really was. It felt like it might as well have been a new game because it added so much stuff.
How many hours of gameplay could you put into it?
Oh man, the DLC alone, I mean, at least 20 or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
For me,
And I got it way after the fact. I got the like the bundle pack, which had the game and all the DLCs for like $20 or whatever. And I was like, I wish I'd spent more money on this because I feel like I just ripped off Bethesda.
For me, I'd say favorite DLC, BioShock Infinite, Burial at Sea.
Still need to finish it. You said the exact same thing last time I was
I was
on.
gonna say, yep, yep. Shit is so good. I won't, because Lone's not here. We can avoid the BioShock discussion because he talks about it every episode. So
I know he was happy when they said they were going to do more BioShock games.
so was I. I'm waiting for them to like show something. I'm like, I want to make a video on this, man. I want an excuse to talk about BioShock. Give it to me.
I hope we see something at E3.
Oh yeah.
If not sooner.
I mean, where would they set the game though? That's the thing. Like they've done the sky, the underwater,
Space.
Caves.
space.
Space sounds a lot better than caves. I'll go with that.
Ooh, a cave.
Oh, wow.
Far Cry Primal BioShock.
Ooh, a volcano.
Ah.
Ah.
Man, they could go a lot of places with it, because they showed with Infinite that like it's just as appealing even if you're not underwater in Rapture.
Yeah.
Space would be good.
Space would be good. Yeah.
Like steampunk space, not even sci-fi.
Yeah,
Someone suggested, like, I forgot what the specific setting was, but just like something alternate history-wise.
That would be cool.
Ooh.
Because they showed
All the universes.
Spoiler warning if you somehow haven't beaten
For the
Bioshock
4-year-old game.
Infinite. Yeah, that. Do you remember that one part where like Elizabeth shows you like how New York is getting like completely destroyed at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In like an alternate universe, so like you definitely know that stuff like that is there.
Yeah.
Kind of cool to
Yeah.
explore that. Man, that was such a
because
cool
they were going to use Columbia to destroy New York, so it'd be interesting if we saw like a city that had
that was my DLC
destroyed
prediction.
a place
I
like New York,
Yeah.
and that was the setting.
I was gonna say because I didn't think they would do Burial at Sea as DLC. I said they were gonna do a Battle of New York DLC and just like you play out that battle.
That would be awesome.
That would have been so cool. So our third question comes from Paladin Topaz, and he asks, "What is the most impactful game you have ever played? Game that has changed you,
I mean,
has altered your very core."
I guess if it changed my life, I'll just say Fallout. I mean,
Yeah, that's the most obvious one for you.
yeah.
Especially. I mean, in my case, it would be Skyrim because it's the game that I essentially have to play, or I'm not going to get any views ever.
You have to play.
I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way with New Vegas. Still, it's like I have to play this. It's like an obligation.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still having fun with it. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
I know that I have to play it.
Yeah, Fallout 3, I guess I'd say. Or, like, if you want to go childhood, I don't know, like, first Mario. Or Desert Strike. That was a good one. Desert Strike. That was on Sega and SNES. Fly around in a
guess-
helicopter.
I think
Going back to
I
childhood.
think for me, I'd say and this is gonna be an interesting answer. I feel I'd say Gone Home though, cause
Gone Home?
yeah, because once again, spoiler warning. But at the end, you find out like basically the character you've been like learning this entire story about is actually homosexual, and like they were in love with each other as these two girls. And it's not like I was ever closed-minded to this, but I never really cared a lot about it or didn't think much of it. And it just kind of opened my eyes to this whole different like realm and like how it's like love is love or whatever is how people say. And I was like, this is interesting. And I was like I said, I was never closed-minded or had any like ill thoughts about it, but it was just kind of it showed a different side of games. I was like, this is kind of like this changed how I feel about something, and I think like that's interesting because a game has never before that done that for me. But as for life changing myself personally, I was like, Fallout.
Yeah.
Technically
yeah.
Skyrim, because I wouldn't have had like a base of subs if it wasn't for Skyrim. And then
I know how you feel.
yeah.
I guess going to like the childhood one / just changed the way I view gaming. In that case, it would definitely be Knights of the Old Republic 1, because that was one of my first. I think it was my first role playing game, and that got me into like other role playing games. And also just like I thought the story writing was fantastic because it was probably one of the only really well done story driven games I had played at that period of time. And I'm not going to go into like the major plot twist in the game because I know so many of your viewers are just getting the game now, but like you do not see it coming, and it's absolutely incredible the way they handle a lot of the twists and turns in the game.
Especially at the end with all like how everything you work for can like disappear or like amount to something. It's just oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah, you have like so much power to change essentially everything about the game, and it really was incredible. Especially like because when I got it, I think I was like 10 or something. So the fact that this was an actual game, it was like overwhelming.
That's what I'm
in a
saying.
really
Yeah,
good way.
I was the same exact age when I got KOTOR myself, and I got it like on sale at Circuit City, and I didn't know that games.
That is such an old sentence right there.
Yep, got it on sale at Circuit City.
Yeah.
And I remember because I didn't know before this that there were games where you can like create your own character and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I had never been into Star Wars before this, so like to see like oh shit, like I can actually play a Star Wars game, get into this universe, and create my own character. I was sold.
Yeah. It was also the first game that got me into recognizing like developers, because when Mass Effect was first announced and it said BioWare, I was like, BioWare made Knights of the Old Republic. And like that's when I first started like associating like games with developers, which was, I mean, obviously it's much more important now to recognize that, but back then I feel like people didn't really pay attention to that as much.
Agree. Yeah. For me, I can't think of the first time I did that.
Yeah, people just knew like, oh, this is a Nintendo game or stuff like that. But
Yeah.
outside of Nintendo, it really wasn't that well perceived, I suppose.
I think it was with Bethesda because you had to learn the difference between their publishing and their developing.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone's like, "Oh, Bethesda Softworks, how are they making so many games? There's another Bethesda game, Maddie." I'm
Bethesda
like, "No."
Game Studios versus Bethesda Softworks.
Yeah, it's like
They want to mess people up. That's why.
I mean, now they're just Bethesda when they publish, and then Bethesda Game
Yeah.
Studios. Oh gosh, I don't know. They really fucked that one up. Like whoever came up with the name and like trying to split up the divisions, they should just one universal Bethesda.
Yeah.
That's what they should do. So, our final question comes from Horde Massacre, and it's funny. We were talking about this earlier, George. Discuss the topic of people saying, "I'm getting bored of Fallout already," and going back to play Skyrim.
It's just funny because maybe I just burned myself out on Fallout 4. I honestly don't know. But I think I have like 90 hours in it just on Xbox One and then another 20 on PC. Mm-hmm. And I started off like really enjoying the game. And I still think it's a great game gameplay-wise. But when I finished the game, I was like, okay, I'm going to do some more of the side quests. And then I was just like, okay, it's just Preston Gravy telling me to go help the same people in the same places and fight the same other people in the same places.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It was this thing where, Skyrim, they started off doing the Radiant Quest system, and it worked really well because it felt more like a bonus thing. Like, you didn't have to do it, and there was still so much other content to do, even if you ignored that.
That's well said.
But then Fallout 4, it was like, well, people like the Radiant Quest system. Let's make that half the game. And I was just like, no.
I don't know, if those quests, like, if they weren't so simple and flimsy, like, oh, we're being attacked, like, if you could build up your turrets and then, like, they wouldn't get attacked or something, then it would make more sense. But they're like, oh, there's some bloat flies we need some help with, and then it's, like, halfway across the map. Like, it doesn't make sense sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it the first playthrough that I went through it, because, like, I didn't do them a million times. Like, I didn't realize that they repeated. I thought, like, after you did it, they just finished. But my second playthrough, I was like, I'll do everything. And then I was like, oh, they just repeat. So,
yeah, for me, I feel like I have to force a second playthrough. I can't get it done either. Like, I started a second playthrough, got like 2 hours into it, and I have not touched it since. And it's weird because even with like 3 in New Vegas, I don't think it's nostalgia because they're really not that old, the games. But like, and maybe part of it was the Fallout 4 hype. But even before that, before it was even announced, it was just a rumor. Like, I could play those games and make videos for them and enjoy my time in them and make these different builds and stuff without having much of a hassle, without forcing myself to.
Yeah.
I feel like with Skyrim, you kind of get the same gameplay flexibility as Fallout 4, where you can kind of do and be what you want. But with Skyrim, you're getting ample amounts of content compared to Fallout 4, which has a lot of content and player discovery, but just not as much as Skyrim.
Yeah, and it's the funny thing sort of with Skyrim is there's multiple like groups you can join, but you can join all those groups as opposed to Fallout 4 where it's like, okay, there's 4 factions and they all hate each other.
Yeah.
So you have to wind up choosing one no matter what.
There's too much focus on the main story.
well, I mean, like in Skyrim, there are the guilds, like you said, George. I mean, if there are more kind of groups like that,
Yeah.
that'd be, I don't know.
That's the
Like
thing.
the guilds that you could join, they each had their own like self-contained story, a lot of quests to do.
Yeah.
And I just felt that there wasn't enough sort of variation in Fallout 4 compared to what we've seen in some of the other Bethesda games thus far.
Would you say it's a misstep for them, or would you say this is still one of their
I
best
still think
works?
it's a good game. Like, I don't want to diminish their accomplishments because it's still better than most games that are coming out nowadays. But compared to what we've seen from Skyrim, Fallout 3, Oblivion, and then, everyone still sucks Morrowind's dick, and I love it. But I think compared to some of those games, it was maybe them trying to take a more quote-unquote modern approach to the game because they see other games focusing a lot more on like the shooting elements or the fact that there is like a narrative like main character. And I think that by trying to focus in on what makes other games great, they kind of detracted from what makes Fallout and the Elder Scrolls great, even though it's not an Elder Scrolls game, but obviously heavily inspired just gameplay-wise itself.
Yes.
And I've said it before, I'm just waiting, even though we talked about it, and you said they might not, but I'm waiting for Obsidian to make a equivalent New Vegas on the, Fallout 4 engine.
It might get to the point where they just get so many requests where they're like, all right, we have to.
I don't see...
Which I'd be all right with.
That's what I'm saying. If they're going based off requests, they have enough.
Yeah, definitely.
They had enough, like, after the first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I was still playing the game on my first playthrough, and I saw people saying, like, demanding, I want the Obsidian treatment now.
I mean, I feel like it could happen because so many people want it, but like Bethesda and Obsidian are gonna have to grow up and be like, okay, we're gonna give you time, and okay, I forgive you for fucking us over, one of those things.
The only thing is, didn't Chris Avalon leave Obsidian?
Yes.
Oh, damn it.
But they still have like Josh
I know they still
Sawyer.
have plenty of other people, but I do like Chris Avalon.
But see, like, I if I'm Bethesda, like, I would want to give them this engine and give them time, because, like, you look at, like, South Park: The Stick of Truth, like, a game that they had
Yes.
time to work on, and,
Yeah.
like, how authentic it was to the universe and how fucking good it was. Like, I know it was a shorter game, but still, that game was hilarious. That game was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
It really is one of those things where they also do a great job with working on other people's IPs, even though they don't necessarily love it. And I mean, I think they're good at that, and maybe they should recognize that. I mean, yes, they should get screwed over less often, but the ability for them to take these games that exist and make a spin-off or a sequel that is arguably better just from gameplay perspectives, because they have these fresh eyes that can update the engine or update certain parts of the gameplay to make it feel really new and polished. Like, that's a talent. It really is.
it is. I know that they've said both they want to work on another Fallout and Star Wars games. It's like, I've said this a bunch of times. I'm like, who's gonna give these guys a chance? Like, they are openly saying we will work for you.
Yeah.
I wish they had been allowed to do a Coder 3 as opposed to BioWare doing the Old Republic. Like, because I thought that the complexities in the story of 2 were, like, really astounding. Like, more so than in
Absolutely.
1.
No, I agree. Because one is, not in a bad way, relatively straightforward. Like, when the twist happens, it doesn't bend your mind like Bioshock Infinite, where it's like, wait, what the fuck just happened? It's like, holy shit, kind of mind bending.
Yeah. Coder 1 is a very sort of Hollywood story almost.
Yes.
And then Coder 2 is more of a, let's just try to make, like, a much deeper, possibly more confusing to your average person kind of story. But the people who do understand it and really follow it are really going to appreciate it. And it's going to be a huge payoff.
Mm-hmm. And they did. And especially the companion depth in that game. Oh my gosh.
Definitely.
I can't believe it. How do we always end up talking about KOTOR?
Because
we were supposed to be talking about
I think it's
Fallout and
influenced
Skyrim.
us a lot, and I think it has influenced the games that we like because of it.
That's true. Because it just feels like they do everything right.
Yeah.
And now, like,
And it's not even rose tinted
just
glasses
so
because we're still playing it and we're still like, yes, this is good.
That's true. That's the thing. It's not even nostalgia. Like, I go back and play this game all the time.
Yeah.
So, as for the topic of getting bored of Fallout and going back to Skyrim, is that where we're all at right now? Like,
Well, Al hates Skyrim.
I just like
What?
Elder Scrolls.
So you have like a fresh Bethesda Game Studios experience just sitting there, Alan. Like, you're not taking it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I definitely overloaded on Fallout 4 though. Like, I finished my second playthrough and then I was like, okay, I'm done now. And then, like, there are mods out now, but I'm waiting for.
There's no quest mods, sadly.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's just a bunch of naked body mods.
Yep.
Yep.
As you guys saw on my Twitter, that fucking pubic hair mod. I'm like, why?
It's lore friendly. It's lore friendly.
It's very lore friendly. You don't see razors at any point.
And like, it's so weird though. Like, 'cause I go to look for mods just to see what's going on, and I find like a couple of mods. I favorite them for later, and I'm like, all right, let's check out the latest mods. And it's like top 25 mods in the past 2 weeks, and I click on number 1. It is a full body nude mod, and I'm like, why is this not only in the top 25 but number 1?
It's the Skyrim community was a huge it had all these people who made those mods, and now it's
Yeah.
Fallout 4, and they're all slowly moving over.
Transferring
So
over, yeah.
I mean, New Vegas wasn't that crazy with those mods, but I have a feeling Fallout 4 it's going to be a lot more of those type of body mods.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bethesda Net is going to officially support these for console players.
I was
Oh,
gonna
that's
say,
right. I didn't even think about
Like, are they
that.
going to be like, yeah, you can make your characters
Here's the thing,
completely
though.
naked.
Bethesda might say okay. Microsoft say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I'm gonna say they probably will limit it because there's gonna be a parent and be like, what is this?
Yeah. They're like, this isn't the game that I bought
Yeah, it's
for my
like
12-year-old.
What I
you were gonna
The game
say-
says 17 and up.
what I don't get though is that like the detail in these nude mods, it's scary.
I mean, if
Like
they can,
they have some nice butts in these nude mods, and I'm
they
just
they got that 4K.
yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
sitting there like, who like what if like I think I keep repeating myself, it feels like, but I said this last week, like what if someone walks in on you working on that? What is your excuse?
It's okay. I'm making a free naked model for people to download for a video game where it revolves around violence and trying to find your son, and your wife is dead.
There's no
So you're
sex
making
in
a
the game
butt.
at all.
Yes.
I mean, I would imagine if you knew that person, like the first week you knew them, they'd be like, all right, by the way, this is what I do.
By the way, I have the most popular mod on Fallout 4.
Yeah,
Oh, what is
basically.
it? Naked people.
Yeah, like how do you even say that? Like you can just like do you lie then and say like, yeah, well it's a gun mod, it's pretty fucking cool, and you show them someone else's work. I totally don't make naked people. That's weird.
I think
Yeah,
I
to each
think they
their
would
own,
go
I
all for it.
suppose.
They'd be like, this is it. You wanna? Come on.
Do you want to know my process of modeling the butt?
Yeah, come on. I got these
You want to
reference
see my
pictures.
reference pictures?
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Yeah, you definitely have something to refer to. So does he just like bring up a porn star's butt or something? Like what?
Oh, there's they got naked guys in there too.
Oh, did they add schlongs now?
They got schlongs. They got circumcised, uncircumcised.
I remember schlongs of Skyrim was a thing.
Schlongs
is a
in
thing.
the sky.
Well, I remember that because also with New Vegas, like you had to install certain mods to get certain clothing, and like it was the auto installer and Fallout Mod Manager, and like it'd be like
Yeah.
fully erect, and it'd be like an elephant.
Yeah.
It was like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
This is all the stuff we would expect from Lover's Lab, but now it's all over the Nexus as well.
oh my gosh.
I kind of want to make a. I know George knows about it, but years ago I made a video called Fat Fuck Boone, where I made Boone fat and naked, and now with
Well, he wasn't intentionally naked.
yeah, he wasn't intentionally naked. It was the clothes I gave him he couldn't wear them because the mesh was different. But like, I might have to do a new Fat Fuck Boone.
Yeah.
I just
Awesome.
wish YouTube didn't like censor or take down videos of that kind of nudity because it'd be so
Yeah.
funny to mess around with those mods. But that's the thing though, is because it's not for like YouTubers to like goof off with or anything. These are just nude mods that people willingly install and say, I want naked
Yeah.
people in my game.
Yeah.
Well, because then it's hard to turn the game off and then jerk off and then come back. It's all
You're
there.
multitasking.
It's all there. Yeah, these are time saver mods. Okay.
Oh gosh. I don't.
He's like, why did I get these two on at the
No,
same time?
no. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself how sick our community is.
I mean,
We must
I mean-
cleanse them.
Wow. All right. There's some
make a
genocide talk
make
going
a
on there.
make a brotherhood like paladin dance. Like we must
like-
cleanse them.
I think of I don't know if anyone here
Outstanding.
has anyone here watched Legend of Korra?
Yeah,
No.
hell yes.
All right, yeah, like I think of like Iman where he's like, I will rid you of your impurity and like put my thumb on their forehead and just like get rid of all these nude preferences in their games.
It's funny because I saw you tweet that you finished Volume 1.
Yes.
I'm gonna warn you. I think Volumes 1 and 2 are the best ones. I'm letting you know right now.
2 is the best.
I
two
think
is
1
a
and 2,
little-
1 and 2 are the better ones. I think I liked 1 a little bit more.
I've heard that 3 and 4 are like
Ugh.
the common opinion is that they are amazing.
I had some problems with 4, most notably like some of the pacing and the ending.
It's only a 4-season show, right? Like the original
Yeah.
Avatar. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm like nervous because like it captures that same Avatar that I love, but yet at times Korra just pisses me off.
Yeah, there are some odd story decisions throughout the series for sure. And I was just sitting there, like, even as I was watching, I was like, that's a little weird. Not like coming back to it, I was like, oh, that was a weird decision. But like sitting there, like real time, I was like,
Oh, wow.
why did that happen?
Nah, as gamers, we know that doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
That we always
Usually it's like
look
months
back.
later where it's like, wait a second, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm going to go give this game a 6 now. Fuck that.
Yeah. Total retraction.
That'll actually wrap up the podcast, though. That was our final question.
All right.
Nice.
Just want to thank you both for your time.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for having us. Much
hell yeah.
appreciated.
Always invited, both of you.
Yay.
So,
Yeah.
as always, we like to...
We didn't get ourselves banned this time. I'm happy.
As always, though, we like to have the guests close out. And since you two are such a great duo,
Shit.
you may do it together.
Shit.
Goose Team, George.
Just feed off each other right now.
Goose Team Hong Kong. Let's oh, we're supposed to stream, aren't we?
Goose Team operational.
Operational.
Goose Team.
Louis Armstrong here.